Yo, what up, what up? It's your boy Jreasn. About to get into this Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City Chiefs. Kickoff's going to be starting shortly. Bills just took it against the Patriots. And what a game that was.
Wilson, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope it was a great one for all of you, and we should have a great one here today, Tony.
Oh, this is a Christmas special right here. This is the Steelers going for the playoffs. I think if they lose, it's a really uphill battle. If they win, I actually think they're in the driver's seat, so we'll see. And obviously Kansas City playing for the #1 seed, which is huge this year.
Well, last week the Steelers knocked off Tennessee. Had Tennessee won, they would have been the 1 seed, but by Pittsburgh winning, it put Kansas City in the 1 spot, and Mahomes and company again on this run after losing 4 of their first 7 to begin the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's really shocking, right? Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are in it at the end, but this still goes through Arrowhead. As long as he's playing there, Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, it's going to be tough to go in here and win. Tough challenge today for the Steelers, but if they can create a turnover something early, I think you'll find the Steelers have a lot of pride, Jim.
And there you see Roethlisberger, 19 touchdown passes on the season versus only 7 picks.
He's playing smart. I mean, really, if they don't turn the ball over, they're in every game, and they're winning a lot of them. I mean, the biggest thing, though, is when they turn it over, they can't overcome it. They have a small margin for error. Ben has to play great today.
We've got all kinds of health issues on both sides, and for more on that, we welcome in Tracy. Happy holidays, Trace.
Happy holidays, Jim. Patrick Mahomes has started 1 game without Travis Kelce, and that was the first start of his career. Well, he will not have him today as Kelce remains on the COVID list. They do get Tyreek Hill back, but they will be without their leading tackler, Nick Bolton, and their kicker in Harrison Butker. Now, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're without their starting tight end in Pat Freiermuth, and on the defensive side of the ball, dealing with issues and COVID as well, Jim.
Yeah, it's going to have a different feel and look for both of these teams adjusting with all these roster moves, and we'll see it right from the start as Kansas City wins and defers, and that brings out Elliott Fry. There he is, taking over for Butker this week on that COVID list that was just documented by Tracy. Fry's kicked in only 1 NFL game in his career. He's going to send the ball down to Ray McCloud, and we're underway.
So we have kickoff.
With a touchback delivered by Elliott Fry, and Roethlisberger and the Steelers, they have been just dreadful, Tony, in the first quarter for the past month. You see the last 3 games, what Ben has done, 5 touchdowns versus only 1 pick. In fact, you take the last couple of months, he's had a very good ratio, second best in the league over the last 9 games, second only to Rodgers, touchdowns to picks.
Yeah, but you talked about it. Those are coming later in the game, right? Early in the game. When was the last time they scored a touchdown on an opening drive? I feel like that was before Thanksgiving.
No, it was in Green Bay, and we were there to see it. And that was week 4 of the season. They'd had a long stretch without one before that. But they haven't scored a touchdown in the first half in the last 4 games. But here they go. New week, maybe new results. They toss it to Harris, and Najee Harris is bounced out with a loss of a couple. Anthony Hitchens with an aggressive start for that Kansas City defense. One of the big issues all season long is trying to get this offensive line, young and inexperienced, of course, with it. Try to get them to gel, Tony. They're without, by the way, Pat Freiermuth, as again Tracy talked about. That's a big absence for them. Zach Gentry, the starting tight end. On a 2nd and 12. Here's Roethlisberger looking for Johnson, and he's able to pull it down.
Johnson, nice pass
and
and
over.
catch.
He's able to get that catch over Mike Hughes, and Deontay Johnson picks up 18.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Look at the high point. Johnson, one of the most underrated receivers, should have been a Pro Bowler this year, but he didn't get in, but he's going to have plenty in the future. This guy can run every route from inside, outside, and watch him go up and get that. Jim, that's not where the ball should be thrown, but it's such a perfect spot. It's 2-man. He's doubled there. He didn't see the safety. But Ben knows that. He throws it so high, Johnson comes down with it.
Deontay practicing for almost an hour on the field with tennis balls, trying all kinds of contorted moves to make catches, and he did it with that last one. And again, they are able to get to Harris early. and they'll give him no gain on that one. Meanwhile, Steve Spagnuolo's defense has been a big part, Tony, of why they rebounded after the sluggish start. They have locked down and only given up 13 a game over the last 7.
You would not have expected that from the way it started early in the year. But a lot of that offense turned the football over. They couldn't stop the run. You know what? Most of the time it says, hey, we got to bring more guys down by the box to stop the run. Spagnuolo's been around a long time. He actually started to keep these safeties deeper, and he said, everyone up here, you play the run, you got help behind you, and that's fixed a lot of it.
Got a 2nd and 10. They go 4 wides. As Roethlisberger has protection, looks around, and then throws it short of James Washington. He was well protected that time. It's a gusty day here in Kansas City. 57 with gusts at 30 and sometimes even beyond down on the field before the game. Tony, you noticed that. They're every once in a while when you don't expect it.
Going for the Chiefs. I think Chiefs by 7 this game, Chris.
It's like you want to throw the ball at the right time. If you're hitting a golf shot, you don't want to catch the gust. You'll see a couple throws or even a kick or punt today that'll just be really weird, and you'll be like, what happened? Did it slip? And it'll be the wind hitting it.
3rd and 10. You saw Melvin Ingram line up. He's standing up. He played for the Steelers at the start of the year. Rush in, linebacker, and Roethlisberger is sacked back at the 31-yard line. Frank Clark.
We see the pass rush up front, a lot of attention to Chris Jones, and it allows Clark to come in. And watch up here. This is going to be an inside release. He's double-teamed. You can't go inside. Roethlisberger wants to throw it, but because he inside released right there, and then widen back out, he didn't have time. Ben had to hold it.
And a new punter is Corliss Waitman in for Presley Harbin. And it's Nicole Harbin getting around the end and with a nice return to give Kansas City a starting point close to the 30-yard line. Patrick Mahomes ready to take the field for the first time.
All right, so I'm interested to see how Pat does on this first drive. I think it's going to set the tone for the game. So we got 22 viewers, guys, 7 likes. So let's try to get to 15 likes. I just need 80 of you guys to go ahead and hit that like button. Get us up to that 15 likes so we can get the ball rolling. Chris Hall, yeah, man. Yeah, man, I love you guys, man, for real. You know, Bills Mafia, 100%, man. We did it today against these Patriots. And, you know, we needed that victory. Now we just got to win out, you know, and then show that we're a contender for the Super Bowl, 100%. 23 viewers. We need 7 more likes, guys. 7 more likes gets us to that 15. That's where we need to be. Remember, likes shows that you support the stream, support the channel, and it's very much so appreciated. So thank you guys for that. Got the Cincinnati putting their hurting on the Ravens earlier. Whoever's seen that game, man, tell me about it. I want all the details. Smooth mixed magic. Chiefs defense is for real. Yeah, I expect nothing less, especially coming down the wire, bro. You know, you're definitely going to start seeing that, you know, that MVP caliber defense come out the woodwork. I think a lot of people forgot, you know, they kind of tried to, like, write Kansas City off, and then they're like, just turned on the switch. You know, just flipped it, like, let's go. And that's exactly what happened.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call them names.
Well, I think that was good. The thing, though, is
that was great.
That was unbelievable. And that just reminds me, I got 3 boys at home, and that's just the preciousest time, right? I mean, just that week of their life. It's such a big deal.
Nothing like Christmas through the eyes of a child.
My goodness.
1st and 10, first snap of the day for the Chiefs. And it's a running play. Edwards-Helaire.
Hilaire's going to lose a yard.
Met by a whole host of Steeler defenders, including Loudermilk, who's going to see more time today with Chris Wormley inactive. A loss of 1.
And he's earned it. I think you're right. I mean, this is a big game. I mean, we always talk about how big it is in the season, right, for winning and losing for the team going to play. Now, like for a guy like Loudermilk, who's earned the right to play, and now he has an opportunity to go out here and show his coaches and team that he gets, when other people get healthy, he still gets to be out there.
With Jreasn is an extra tight end along with Blake Bell. And
another running play for about 2 yards.
He's stepping up here on the first 2 snaps. That's just a run of 3 yards. Hayward, Pro Bowler named this past week. Here's the defense for Keith Butler. 41 sacks as a team, of course, led by T.J. Watt, 17.5. Steelers season's record set last week.
You see Fitzpatrick on the back end, T.J. Watt, Keith Butler right there. The defensive coordinator, been around a long time. He gave up 6 touchdowns last time he played Patrick Mahomes. I think he's got a better plan for him this week.
It was only his 3rd career start. It was early in the 2018 season. Now, this is the #1 third down offense, but again, without Kelsey, let's see what happens.
Deep throw and the catch.
Completes it to Tyreek at the 40 for the first.
And this is probably the most important thing of the game. Tyreek Hill is going to go up here and run up, and you're going to see him double teamed by the safety up top as well as the corner. And right there, Mahomes, if you're double teamed, you go up and you stop. If there's no safety over the top helping, you keep running. Hill does it better than anyone, but they need an extra guy. I mean, without Kelsey, Jim, they should not be giving up many on 3rd down to him.
Gray moves into a slot on the left side, and new set of downs for the Chiefs. And this time it goes to Pringle. Pringle's got a gain of 11.
Pringle's got the first down.
Tony, because this is unusual, not having Hill and Kelsey on the field at the same time, and what that might mean as this game goes on.
Well, it's a huge, like when you talk about how big this is, it's never happened before, right? So Tyreek Hill's never played without Kelsey out there. So now all of a sudden defenses can focus solely on Tyreek Hill. But on 3rd down, you got to make sure Tyreek Hill doesn't catch the ball. He already caught one. You don't have to play the guy underneath Kelsey. He always wins one-on-one. Now you can just guard their tight end with one guy, Bell, and add that other guy for Tyreek Hill in every key situation.
Here's a first down throw. And it is
Another
to
catch.
the tight end, Bell, you just mentioned.
Another first down.
Bell stepping up today in the absence of Kelsey, and he's got another first down and a gain of 11.
There's a busted coverage. Too many guys are on the right side here. You see Bell get wide open, and Bell just runs up, and there should be a zone defender right there on the inside. But the Steelers, who very seldom make mental mistakes, made one there.
Just last week, this defense had a +4 turnover margin, 4 takeaways against the Tennessee. That's their best margin in 70 games as far as takeaway margin. Just last week, helped fuel the win over the Titans. Here's a first down carry. Edwards-Helaire behind a couple of Chiefs, and total of about 4. And let's get a little Romo report. Tony, what do you see here with the Chiefs with
Well,
the football?
what I see is the Mahomes, he just makes magic. But part of that is being patient. So the Steelers, no blitzing, 2 safeties deep. So this is the thing that's happened. The Chiefs over the years, they started the year off a little slow because teams just decided to play their safeties deep and never give up a big play. They used to do it on 3rd downs or 2nd down. Now they're doing it on early downs over and over again. So now they've got to go 7, 8, 9 plays to score touchdowns instead of 2 or 3.
Quick throw for Tyreek for another first
So
down.
what happens then is you got to take those type of throws right there, Jim. You got to just take what they're giving you. And Mahomes has gotten more patient. They're still explosive. They're still really good. They're just playing football a hair different because teams are making them drive the length of the field. And that's why I think Kansas City is really tough now because they're actually better, Jim. They can play any way they need to now.
Hill already with 2 catches, Tony, coming off that game against the Chargers a little more than a week ago when he had 12 grabs for 148 yards in that wild win against the Chargers. Mahomes has hit his first 4 passes.
And Hill has the most catches of his career this year already.
And he gets 1 more, by the way. He'll tie the Kansas City single-season record that Kelsey set last year.
Another quick throw.
To Williams.
Another first down.
And he's near the 11-yard
Mahomes
line.
is on it, man.
Darrell
Offense
Williams
is clicking.
with his 39th catch of the season, and it's a gain of 13.
This is really good. Go ahead and play this. We're going to pause right after the play action. Go ahead and pause right here. Every other year, he's going to look up here, look at this guy, but now he gets right down to the check down instantly, Jim. That's where Mahomes has evolved. I know that's hard to actually tell people, but he's even better, and he's taking what the defense gives him. And that's why I think Tyreek Hill has 102 catches. He just throws to him on the shorter stuff, not always looking for just a big play.
Moving right down the field with his first possession. 8 plays, 61 yards to get to the 12. And here's a first down throw out of the backfield. 2 straight plays. It goes to Williams.
He's going to lose about 2 yards.
Around him, including Schobert and Hayward, and it's a loss of 1. I mentioned earlier, Tony, about the Steelers, how woeful they've been in the first quarter. Look at Pittsburgh in the last 5 games, 27-point deficit. Kansas City plus 58 over its opponents with 8 touchdowns and not allowing one. So can Mike Tomlin and crew, can they just kind of, in essence, survive this first quarter with the way things have been going?
Yeah, that's a good word. You're exactly right. Can they survive? You're coming in right against like a guy like Mike Tyson. It's like if you can survive, you might have a chance as it goes on.
2nd and 11. Holmes steps up and tries to drop it into Hardman. And that was Schobert.
3rd and 11.
Didn't give him much room
smooth
to
mix.
find an opening on the pass.
I don't know. Like,
It'll
what
be
do
3rd
you
and 11
consider
coming
a
up.
dynasty, right? Like,
Those are the plays where Kelsey. These
know,
are Kelsey routes.
2 in
You're
a
gonna
row.
go up and run option type routes. And
3 in a row.
so what you do is you put Kelsey right behind Tyreek Hill.
I don't know. For me to consider it a dynasty, I'd have to say like
Kelsey goes up 5
you
yards.
probably
He does
gotta
whatever he
make it
wants.
to the Super Bowl like 3 times.
Designing that. But when he's
You know?
not there, all of a sudden,
I would say
might
3
get
times.
covered
At least
underneath,
make it to the
as you
Super
saw
Bowl
in
to be
that one.
considered a
That
dynasty.
gives the Steelers a chance.
So Andy Reid. See what he has set up for 3rd and 11. Oh,
It's
we
a
got
jump.
the Steeler a little
Free
antsy
play.
as Mahomes goes end zone, and it's picked
Ball is
up.
picked up, but it's going to come back.
Witherspoon with the theft
The
from
Steelers
what was probably
jump.
a free play for Kansas City.
Offside. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
So it was Hayward who got a little ahead of it. So replayed it down 3rd and 6.
And he gets him with the cadence at home. Good job. And Mahomes should have thrown to Hill. Watch this. He gets him offside. He's going to throw outside, but watch Tyreek Hill. He could have just lobbed it right up and over everyone. Obviously, he just throws it up outside.
A drive that's taken over 6 minutes. Now facing a 3rd down. Otherwise, they got to bring the new kicker out for a field goal.
You know, Pittsburgh's 4th in the NFL in defense in the red zone, Jim, and this is why I think they'll be able to win some of these close games.
See if they can buckle up.
What's up,
here.
Selena?
Pass down
Hope
to
you had a good Christmas.
Gray. Stop the
Happy
Bears.
holidays to you.
There's Noah Gray. The backup tight end today was fighting for that extra yard, and KC has every indication it's going to go for on 4th and 1.
Oh, yeah. They're going to go for this.
In this day and age, everybody does now. It used to be kind of like a little bit of suspense behind it.
Now it's like, what? They're going to kick a field goal, but they're, you know what I mean? They're bringing in big. They're bringing in big guys. The problem is this. There's a guy.
4th and 1.
Cameron Hayward right inside on that defensive
A lot of
line
movement.
that you don't want to run into.
Handoff up the middle.
And that's a run. That's the first down.
Touchdown for Michael Burton.
The 1st and
who
goal.
scored his first career rush touchdown against the Chargers last week, and he barreled ahead and looked like he might go all the way, and then sudden abrupt into it at the 1.
Just an outstanding block by the interior of the offensive line. Watch the center right there and guard. Really, it was a great job by 65 Smith, who's come on. And there's Hayward. That's why you don't want to run over there by him.
Yeah.
Wherever he is, it's almost like run away from him.
1st and goal. From the 1. Williams got hit in the backfield. We're going to say short. That was a nice play by Arthur Millette. Made early contact after the handoff.
It looked like he got in, though. It was really close. Maybe his knee was down right there, and then he's way short. Good call, Tony. 4 yards off.
It was one of those touchdowns. But Millette comes out. Now they're going to bring an extra lineman in. Blythe. Allegretti also. 2 extra linemen come in. 8-minute drive and counting.
That's what we said. Kansas City's developed the ability to do that. I didn't think they were able to.
Look at this stuff. Oh, and he breaks the tackle.
Mahomes with the touchdown.
For the touchdown. He was stopped
Oh,
in
my
his
bad.
tracks by Robert Spillane.
He gave the ball to
Just
Hilaire
looked
for the
like it was
touchdown.
over for a 2-yard loss. He
been such a blessing in life, feeling great. Waiting on my Dallas football. Happy holiday. And I'm glad you're doing well, Selena. Yeah, the Bills did win, Shane.
You're going to see them meet.
I know you said that they got a new job, I guess, but congrats to you. I'm glad everything's doing well for you.
41 comes flying in. And Edwards-Helaire with the second effort. And that's part of the toughness this team has developed. That's why I think they're even going to be tougher this year, Jim.
I'll be streaming the Dallas game next.
So that took 8 minutes and 10
so
seconds.
Be there rooting with you on that one.
No question. That run,
Dallas definitely taking that game.
Drive ends up with a touchdown by Edwards-Helaire.
So he will definitely be on that one. Dallas and Washington football after this game. Definitely. Marianne, go Chiefs. A couple of Chiefs fans in the comments. Okay. Yeah, I got Chiefs by 7 this game. Got them by a touchdown. But with the way Pat's playing, it's probably going to be a blowout, to be honest, because Ben doesn't look like he's going to be doing too much. But who knows? We still got a lot of football left to play. Yeah, Selena, 100%. I'm pretty sure that Dallas is going to take that one. Just hoping it's not one of these fluke games where, you know how that goes. We've seen a lot of that this year. Certain games are like, you just know your team's going to win, and then the other team comes out and just either squeaks by or it's some wild, complete blowout for some weird reason. So let's say it's any given Sunday.
The king of sportsbooks.
I love seeing the images of the past and seeing the likes of Mean Joe Green and Ed Podolak and some of the great players that met in this matchup years and years ago. 8th opening drive touchdown this season for Kansas City. That leads the league. They didn't even have a play that was longer than 13 yards, so they worked it down the field. They even had a big conversion on the third play of that series, 3rd and 10 to Hill.
You're exactly right. And they're so good, right? Situationally, they're the same situationally as they've always been, 18, 19, 20. Basically, they're always going to be good on third down. Okay? They're never going to run the ball a ton, so they're going to be okay in the red zone. But they're always going to be the most explosive team in the league. They're always going to have that. But their ability to do what they just did, Jim, that's different.
So another touchback delivered by Fry. Let's take a look at Next Gen Stats powered by AWS.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger, 61 go, fade routes since 2020. That's 21 more than another quarterback. That means line up and throw the ball deep. Well, Kansas City's defense, 39% of their snaps are in press coverage, which is the highest in the NFL. And that means you're going to see a lot of go routes today, Jim, because one team likes to throw them and the other team basically dares you to. And you'll see it on top of the screen right up there. He'll press him throughout most of the game. If this guy stays deep, okay. When he gets off like this, probably just throw it to him or hand off.
Roethlisberger, free flicker. Deep throw, and that's going to be picked off one-handed. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Jim, it was almost as if Kansas City knew that something like that might be happening, because I just told you how many times
this is so crazy.
One-handed.
Oh, he caught it with both, but he brought it down with one hand. Like he secured it with one hand. That's crazy. And I knew when that ball
Ball
sailed, it was going to be
wobbling
like
a bit in all this wind. And you're right, Ward never was fooled for 1 second. And he has his second interception of the season.
What a pick.
That is now 10 consecutive games. The Chiefs have had at least 1 interception. That's the longest active streak in the league, 10 games in a row.
Pittsburgh, that's the biggest thing. Just don't turn it over. They'll be in the games at the end. It's showed that way. It's played out that way all year. Big mistake.
Definitely, Selena. Football is like a box of chocolates.
Encroachment.
Never know what you're going to get.
Number 57. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So this defense that just saw an 8-minute drive go against them and 7 first downs, they get no break. They come right back out again.
It's been hard this year on them. I mean, losing to it. Alu, it's just changed so much for Coach Keith Butler right there, but they've done an incredible job. Watt, Hayward, Fitzpatrick carrying this team. Hayden came up big last game.
First and 5 now. Down the middle. On his target, the ball comes out. Was that a catch? They rule it incomplete. Incomplete for Pringle. Pringle tried to run with it and was stripped by Fitzpatrick.
So close, but yes, it is incomplete. And just Mahomes' ability. Go ahead and run this. You're going to see his head. Right, left, right, and then back. Fires it right in front.
No reason to throw a challenge flag this early in the game.
No, I don't think it's a catch either. It was just fast enough.
It seemed like it, just maybe a step. Second and 5. Edwards Alaris. Hayward's got him. About a yard and a half short of first. 3rd and 1.
That just feels, they're just more physical. It's like these young offensive linemen, like, but this is a more downhill type
Cindy,
of Kansas City
won.
than I'm
Bills
used to
Mafia.
seeing, like in the run game. You know, like that was physical. I know that's like, it's hard to explain. But the Kansas City we've seen for the last 3 or 4 years, they need to be able to run the ball with these safeties being deep and not want to give it big plays. They need to check it down and stuff. This is so efficient. This is the first time I've seen them look like this.
They called 3rd and 2. Went out and rebuilt this offensive line after the Super Bowl last year. Here's Mahomes finding an open man. Pringle thrown down at the 22 by Edmonds, and another first down it is for Kansas City. Gain of 18, longest of the game to this point.
And Pringle, you're going to see go up 13 and break out. Just a good throw. That wind tailed the ball. But watch right here. The corner's playing cover 2, so he's got to stay outside. Pringle's going to go up and above him, and he's going to try and go inside. He gets lost right there, and boom. That's because Tyreek Hill was right underneath.
So T.J. Watt comes out. Williams in the backfield moving around on first down. Safety valve for Mahomes. Always hit. The ball comes out, and Tooney comes back to make the grab. Well, a little short today at receiver without Kelsey, so Tooney stepping up. Getting I don't know how many people played him today in their fantasy lineups as a wideout, but Joe Tooney with the catch.
Joe Tooney's got his... Oh, wow, look at that. Highsmith comes flying in over there. And what's happened, though, is the ball has to be held a ton because look at these safeties. Everyone's getting deep. They're not coming down. They're staying back. And they all go special, and the ball's got to come out. And that's why I keep saying the more they keep waiting for those big shots, teams aren't giving them up.
That goes as a sack and a fumble, actually. Pass. Williams, 3rd catch taken off. Williams takes off to the 5-yard line, where he's tripped up out of bounds by Minka Fitzpatrick. He had a nice block thrown out there by Josh Gordon that helped him get loose for 18.
And as soon as Mahomes' back foot hits the ground, he gets the ball out, and it's a great block not to get a penalty. He's close, really close, but the rhythm.
That is close.
Yep. I think he did a good job, though. I wouldn't have called it. It's really close, though. I may have called it, depending upon where I was standing in relation to that as a ref. But you see how he hit his back foot and let it go? He's not even waiting for someone else. It's like he knows they're in a soft zone.
First and goal. 5 yards out.
Trickery.
Fakes it. Looking everywhere. Surveying, and throws
Touchdown.
it for the touchdown. It's Pringle with the catch. And a second touchdown of this opening quarter for Kansas City.
And there's that thing we wrote down early, starting off on the report card. We said, and Mahomes magic. And that was it right there.
He just threw his 62nd touchdown pass at Arrowhead Stadium, ties Trent Green for the most touchdown passes ever thrown by a quarterback inside this stadium with all of its history.
He did a good job staying patient for a long time in the pocket, and then that little flick of the wrist.
That's 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Extra point is added, and the script remains the same. Hot first quarter for Kansas City. Slumbering start for...
All right, so a great start for the got a great start for Kansas City here. 14-0. Kind of expected this. I mean, I said if the Chiefs were clicking, then this would happen. But Steelers don't get their offense together, then probably could be the last game that Ben plays. I think the money line for Steelers was like plus 400, if I'm not mistaken. Plus 400 on the money line for the Steelers. That's how you knew what this game was potentially going to be. Chiefs win this year, they would be the Patriots of this decade. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. All right, so we got 80 viewers, 17 likes. Let's make sure we hit that like button, guys. Let's get to 25. We need 8 more likes. 8 more likes, and we'll hit our first goal of 25 likes. So if 80 of you guys go ahead and hit that like button and help get us to that first goal of 25 likes. And of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll be updated with streams just like this, Mondays, Thursdays, and of course on Sunday. Conrad, I hate the Chiefs. Sure, there's a lot of people in your boat, bro. Without a doubt. So we got 38 votes. Chiefs 68%, Steelers 32. And that's where we're
Here in
at.
Kansas City, the site of the last 3 AFC Championship games. Will this season be the 4th? Who knows? But Kansas City sitting in that very much valued 1 seed position. Only one team, of course, getting that bye and home field advantage throughout. Win a divisional game, and you could then be back hosting the AFC title game. Worked out that way.
I think the growing pains from the beginning of the year with the offensive linemen. Go ahead, Jim.
Here's McLeod. Yeah, they got a lot of that out of the way early. Found out what they needed to do, defense and everything, and it has been just a fabulous stretch for them. And then here's that record we just mentioned, tying CBS's Trent Green for 62 touchdown passes inside the confines of this building.
Trent played so good right here. That guy, I think right now you could say he just passed Trent. I'm sorry, Patrick has now tied you, and his next touchdown, he's going to officially be a little bit better of a player than you, Trent. On the next touchdown, not yet. Me and Trent are right there in awe of a lot of the stuff that Mahomes does.
Everybody is.
How good was Trent Green, by the way?
He had a great career. Here's a 1st and 10 to Harris. Cannot find a crease. He's had nothing through 3 carries. 3 carries for -1 yard total. So far in this game, 9 yards of offense for Pittsburgh, 112 for Kansas City with less than a minute to go.
Well, you just told us Pittsburgh's not going to score in the first half. Kansas City's going to score a lot. And, I mean, it's just playing out. And Mike Tomlin knows. I mean, if you think about it, the turnover is just devastating. You can't give Kansas City a short field ever, especially on the road, especially early in the game, too. I mean, just the momentum of it.
2nd and 9. Deontay able to come through. A little bit of an opening. Got a nice block by Zach Gentry. They've got a first down after a gain of 9. We got an update down on the sideline.
Well, Jim, you were talking about the turnover there, and Ben Roethlisberger came off after that interception shaking his head and saying, it just drifted on me. Well, the wind, it is certainly a factor here, and we saw it could have been a factor of why the Chiefs went for it on 4th down as well. So something to keep an eye on, Jim.
Now we'll switch ends. Roethlisberger picking up the 2nd first down. That's all they have to show for. After the first 15, it's 14-0 Kansas City.
Yes is sponsored by DirecTV Stream. Get your TV together. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Not to be the Grinch about it for you Pittsburgh fans, but that's now 8 consecutive games that Kansas City has not given up a first quarter touchdown.
No, that was absolutely you being the Grinch. I don't know why you pretended like you weren't.
Nobody beats the Grinch.
Did not like that, and this is a huge drive.
1st and 10, and Ben just dumps it off. Harris for 5. But let's again revisit what Steve Spagnuolo's done. His first 7 games, they gave up 203 points. The defense. The last 7 games, 93 points. His mentor, influencer, so many lives and coaching careers shaped by Jim Johnson, the old D coordinator of the Eagles.
Who only went to 5 NFC championship games when he was there with Andy Reid. Wow, that was a dynamic duo. Obviously, he gets Spagnuolo. They're right back in championship games.
There's Harris, ridden down by Willie Gay. Harris, 4 carries, 1 yard. Naughty or nice on the season? Well, again, this is what we were saying.
Yeah, very naughty, Andy. That was naughty.
Very naughty. 29 a game, that's really naughty. No prizes, no gifts, nothing coming to your stocking. But 13 points through the last 7, that's best in the NFL. 3rd and 4. Pass almost intercepted as it bounced off the hands of McLeod.
The ball just kind of tailed on him. You see, Ben, the accuracy just sailed on that first interception, and this one.
Watch Hitchens try to catch up to it in time. Come here.
Trying to make it. See the ball right there, Jim? It's just these gusts are for real out here. It is going to be hard, and I told you, you're going to see a couple throws, just it'll look weird. It'll just be off and tail all of a sudden. That was kind of one of them.
New punter again, Corliss Wakeman.
Pretty good.
It is. Oh, Hardman saw it moving so much, buffering. He let it go, and it goes for a touchback. 63 yards. A little unlucky for Wakeman that it didn't take a sideways kick inside the 10. Touchback it is. Mahomes coming back out, up 14.
Can I ask you a question?
We're back with the Chiefs. 14-0, jumping all over the Steelers, who have failed to even reach their own 45-yard line through 3 drives.
Hey, we're good. Go Blue, Eddie.
Williams caught 3 balls, now gets to carry it. And he's rushing for another 8. He's had a fine year, running behind Creed Humphrey, the rookie center out of Oklahoma.
And the development of a Patrick Mahomes. How fast is he getting these checkdowns out really quick? You got trouble early in the year when you try to do a whole lot once in a while, but then watch how much. To me, he's always ran around and made an unbelievable plays, right? But that was the development of staying in the pocket there. He stayed in the pocket and actually trusted the guys around him for so long, whereas he would have moved sooner earlier in his career. It's hard for me to keep saying he's improving, but watch out, rest of the league. He's improving.
2nd and 2.
Go. Wait.
That's going to pick up the first down. It's neat to see, Tony, you illustrate to us how that is possible, the nuance that we all can now see. We got an update. Back to Nate, New York.
All right, after a 14-play drive, Derek Carr is going to hit Hunter Renfrow with the 10-yard touchdown. 1 knee equals 2 feet. Hunter Renfrow coming up big for his squad. The Raiders up 7-0. Back to Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson.
All right, Nate, thank you so much. Both of those teams at 7-7. Coming into that one, first down. Barry, look at Woods, take it off for another 12 or 13. Running behind Noah Gray and others. And that's 2 good carries for Darrell Williams, who came into the league undrafted out of LSU, and he's emerged as a big part of this offense during this win streak.
He really has, and this is some of the stuff they're doing, though. Look at these 2 guys. That's a double team. They're going to take on the guy right in front of him. And if you can displace him and move him like that, Jim, that's how you can become a good running team. They didn't used to do that near as well. But when they went out and drafted Humphrey and Smith, center and right guard, they can do that now.
Here it goes again, going against the 31st rush defense in the league. Tracy, back down to you.
Jim, T.J. Watt on the sideline right now, but we saw him take a hit to the ribs last week. Reports are that he's playing today with cracked ribs, and we saw him re-aggravated it on that last drive. Do not expect him to stay out long, though. He played through injuries all season long, has a sack record he's chasing for. T.J. Watt, just a great example of toughness, guys.
Tony, you know all about rib injuries. That's hard to play with, man.
Yeah, I've had a few. I mean, you're gonna crack some ribs, break them over time. And
2nd and 5. And that's going to be 2 yards short of the first for Pringle.
I mean, you do your best job not to do a whole lot during the week. It's like a bone, right? So it takes time to heal. And all of a sudden, as it's coming back, trying to get healthier, you're on game day. Can you go, or do you need to do something? You know, it's like taking a leave or something. You need to take something to mask it. Well, it's not going to be gone. It's there. And you're still playing with it. So certain things you get hit, or you got to move and stretch, and all of a sudden whack. It's like a sharp pain that hurts you. You could play through it, but it's really painful, and it depends, you know, what angle you're going to consistently be in.
Got a 3rd and 2. Again, living on the Pittsburgh side of the 50. All 3 drives. There's 2 going for touchdowns. This is going to be a first down. Hardman got tripped up, or he would have kicked it into that gear that very few ever see. Hardman, a sprinter, picks up 14. Could have maybe gone all the way had Norwood not caught him by a shoelace.
And watch Mahomes step up in his pocket softly and quietly. Not just turn and run, just a little bit. And he buys that time and allows Hardman to get all the way across Spillane, 41. But that's where you keep seeing from, you know, T.J. Watt's not out there. So that pocket has just a little bit more on that last play. Now he's back out there. But without him, you saw the touchdown earlier, Jim, he had all day.
Edwards-Helaire back behind Mahomes. Fake it to him on first down. Here's Mahomes going down, and it was intended for Josh Gordon near the 10-yard line. Adams got a little bit close to Mahomes, which influenced that throw. Here's Kansas City. 27 plays they've played. They've run so far. Here's the back end of it. They don't have a play of 20 yards. They just keep picking up chunks, but not any massively long plays. Moving down the field, moving the chains.
Well, and that was one of them. He had to throw it right away, and that's why the guys up front making you get rid of that ball, it matters so much. But it's a great play design. Just didn't have enough time to complete it.
2nd and 10. Right. And Edwards-Helaire, who did a great job breaking tackles on the game's opening touchdown, has a pickup of about 5. Now, if you're Pittsburgh, you know, can you stiffen here defensively and at least get the offense off the field? It's not like you want to be giving up field goals, but it sure sounds appetizing right now with the way things have gone.
Oh, Pittsburgh would love to take a field goal right here. And there's no gimmies on field goals. I mean,
not in this win.
You can get gusted. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Oh, it's not fine.
Go! Wait!
Here's Mahomes. The dance around, spin around, pirouette. And now throwing almost a brilliant catch, but it falls out of the hands of Gordon at the 9-yard line.
It's almost funny. It's like his own thing, right? He just does his own pirouette in the middle of the pocket. As you see Watt making him move, and then he resets in the pocket, and then Watt makes him really move. And here comes Highsmith and that ball, and that's the wind. It gets that extra little 6 inches to the right.
Here's Elliott Fry. Played 1 game in his NFL career. That was for Atlanta last year. Made 1 field goal for the Falcons and 1 of 2 PATs.
This is going to tail to the right here, I think.
From 44 yards. Oh, yes, down that right side, but good.
That's such a good kick, because you know that wind is pushing. It's hard to keep that in there. I have a hard time drawing that ball with that downwind left to right there.
Fry adds 3. 8:45 to go second quarter. Football's iconic show Inside the NFL is streaming Tuesdays at 9:30 on Paramount Plus.
Usually you'd feel like this game's over, but Pittsburgh has literally done this to us so many times watching their games. You know, it's like they just start in the fourth quarter and all of a sudden
It's very clever what they do here. They're just stealthily waiting for the fourth quarter to come around after you've already ruled them out.
it's just this is a little taller task, but I mean, think about what was it, Minnesota? They were down 28, 24 points. They made it a game all the way at the end.
Yeah, they were down 29 in that game going into the fourth quarter and still had a chance in the fourth. A throw into the end zone that had it been caught would have been a 2-point conversion away from a tie.
And that's why I'm telling everyone, this game is not over. It's right where Pittsburgh is every week.
Plus, I'll give you this. The last time they met, which was week 2 of 2018, Kansas City led 21-0, but Pittsburgh came back and tied it before the Chiefs ended up winning behind 6 touchdown passes by Mahomes. Here is Bobby Bell, Chiefs Hall of Famer, surprising Colleen Katzenberger and her son Everett with tickets to Super Bowl 56. The Hunt Family Foundation partnering with Folds of Honor, which supports families of fallen or disabled service members to give a future education and scholarship to Everett as well. Folds of Honor and Rooney. And what that charity does is magnificent. What the Chiefs did here and the Hunt family, well done. Bobby Bell, one of the greats.
How good is the Hunt family, Brett Veach, how much they're just building this whole thing with Andy Reid. Really impressive this last 5 years.
Here's Harris cutting outside. Gets past Thornhill for a moment. And that's by far his best run of the game on his 5th carry. Gain of 21.
And he's having one of these years because he's so talented. He's a do-it-all back. First, second, third down. And he's got size, speed, but it's just a struggle, right? Young offensive lineman, they're just not that great right now.
Well, Harris has shown so much talent. That was close to his longest carry of the season. 21. 23 is his longest.
So stretched out.
He's got another handle, and he's going to take it for some hard-earned 5 yards. To the other side of the 50, as you see the last 5 games, what they've done first half versus second half.
So pretty similar to today, right? That's what they do, though. I mean, now they got to watch it. I'm going out on a limb and saying this one doesn't need to get much more than this.
Right.
This drive really is big.
That is Kansas City on the other side.
This one's really big.
2nd and 5. Dangerous pass goes right on him, bringing him down with Jreasn Sneed. McLeod with the catch, but a loss.
Well, you see right here, they press a ton, and that's why I don't love these throws right now. I know the ball gets out, but Sneed's just standing right there. See how he works his way up? These guys are pressed. That's why you got to work down the field on them. The short stuff's going to be much more difficult today than it normally is.
Now suddenly it's a 3rd and 8.
Press, take your shots down. Oh, they're out of there. Now throw to the guy inside. Claypool's open, and then to your back, the tight end.
On the field they go, and Claypool, who ends up with the football? It's Claypool. Oh, now he shows you that physicality he can bring that Steeler fans have wanted to see a whole lot more of. But he does it right here. Look at this catch.
Yes, he's got all-world talent. Obviously, we've talked about his ability just to learn how to be a pro day in, day out. But, wow, what a catch. And that ball was floating right there, too. But Ben actually put it in a perfect spot.
Back to Claypool. What another catch to remember. Claypool back-to-back plays. He had no catches last week against Tennessee. He's got 2 on the last 2 snaps.
And you see that ball. That one gets really hot. It gets going in that wind direction. What a catch. And you see his ability is off the charts. His ceiling, it's as high as you can go. I'm just telling you, it's way up there. They need to get him the ball consistently.
Pass, watch out. As it stayed in the air for a while, McLeod, when they've thrown it to him, the ball's been bouncing around a few times. Been some dangerous moments. I'm pinning it on McLeod, but they've been a few where the Steeler fans have held their breath.
And go ahead and play it and pause it right here. This is what I don't love. This is an RPO. You got guys on the outside. You have all that space you need to be doing. That's just going to not work today, Jim. They're pressed. There's people in there. And you saw their two good plays are down the field. You got to get the ball vertical.
This is where he missed Firemuth and his 7 touchdown catches. Now, after the concussion last week, that pass sailed on him, trying to connect with Deontay Johnson. So last week we were talking about Deontay's credentials to make the Pro Bowl for the AFC. We knew that position had a lot of talent. He did not make it.
He did not.
He's over 1,000. He's got 88 catches now with the 2 in this game.
Go ahead.
25 more catches than Chase of Cincinnati, who made it. More receiving yards than Diggs, who made it. And more touchdown catches than Keenan Allen, who made it.
Yes, and you see real quick, 3rd and 10 coming after you. Go ahead and get this ball out really fast.
It's Harris in traffic. Nowhere to go. Look at all the Chief players around him. 6 in all. Snead leading the pack. And now they'll bring out Boswell for a field goal.
Now, he has sky cam, or he has 2 sides you can see from behind. As you're watching, he can go right or left. Watch what happens if he throws the screen down here instead of going to the right. I think that's a touchdown, Tim. He's pretty open. But that's the decision. You know, you put it next, then you look back and you're like, oh.
36 yards for Boswell. You saw the graphic. Inside the 40, and that remarkable run without a miss comes to an end from 36 yards. Nothing on the board for the Steelers.
This flag isn't backwards.
On CBS is sponsored by the all-new 2022 Grand Wagoneer. Caesars Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. And by KFC. Order on KFC.com or through the app.
We're back here in Kansas City after the missed field goal. We'll take over at the 26. The first 3 drives, 3 scores, touchdown, touchdown, field goal. Play action. And now, out of the backfield, they give it to Gore. And Gore is going to fight for every inch. Give him 8 or 9. Let's bring in Gene Steratore on that field goal attempt by Boswell. You saw one defender. It's Wharton jumping over Coons. Gene, is this legal right here?
Yeah, legal in 2 cases, Jim. Because 98 is within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, he is permitted to leap that way. And the push that we see from 91 is just a push down and not a defensive hold. So both plays in that case are legal.
Okay, thank you. 2nd and 2. Gore, after the catch, gets the carry, and he's got a first down. Deflating, though, when you had very little going for you in this game. You put together a drive, a couple of great catches by Chase Claypool, and you come up empty.
You do, and that's Coach Tomlin knows they're having to scrap, claw, and just stay in games, and then all of a sudden, certain things, a TJ Watt strip will happen. Ben will throw a dime outside. Claypool with those 2 guys, but you see, their receivers have all the real talent. They need to get down the field.
There is again a handoff to Gore. And he's got another 3 yards. Andy Reid, though, this week when we visited with him and they had so many players on the COVID list, we tried to get him to talk about how they would fill out the roster, what this team would look like, and he didn't want to, he would have nothing to do with it. And that's just typical for Andy about how he approaches this. Truly says, that's not how I roll, Jim. It's next guy up. That's whoever I have, go out there and win the game. And that's why he's won so many games.
Yeah, I mean, you're here for a reason, right? If we're bringing you in, it's not to just sit here and hang out. It's to play at some point.
Here's the pass down the field. And Gore has been the man on this series as he got free. You saw it, Tony. I could tell that he was left alone. Gain of 50.
And down here on the bottom, Gore's over here. Look at this. Mahomes is going to run around. And all of a sudden, everyone starts running. And once he leaves that pocket, hard to defend.
Gore, give it to him every play. Down to the 8. This is becoming the Derek Gore highlight reel for this series. Now he comes out. You got some teammates over there saying that was good work.
Yeah, that's good.
First-year player out of Louisiana Monroe. Got a timeout called by the Steelers at 2:19 to go in Kansas City, again inside the 10.
Just the time of possession. I mean, the first drive, Pittsburgh's got to be tired. Still a lot of game left.
Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. All the latest scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Vegas over Denver in another late afternoon window. And those two teams both given a little breath of life with the Chargers losing today to Houston. And they'll have the highlights of all those games coming up on the Verizon halftime report. That was a game changer, that as far as like the playoffs and how it affects the AFC. That was a big result today.
I thought it was over. I really thought if the Chargers won today, because the Bills looked like they were going to win, then it was going to be the Colts, the Bills and Chargers are going to be the 5, 6, 7, you know, and all of a sudden it's just going to be done. And whoever wins the division in Pittsburgh gets in, right? Now, Pittsburgh's division could have 2 teams in, and now the Chargers are actually needing help because now they've got 7 losses now.
Yep. Could be one team in out of the AFC North when it all shakes out. They play each other the next 2 weeks. Most cases. 2nd and 7. Here's Hardman. Bill trying to block. And Hardman able to dodge a defender and find the end zone. Nicole Hardman with his 2nd score of the season.
So many different receivers, so many different players touching the ball today without Kelsey spreading it around. Hardman's turn right there. One part of that is Tyreek Hill, number 10, putting the extra effort and possibly getting away with a hold. You can't tell there. He could have been selling it, Hayden, but did he get injured?
Did he get the pylon? Edmonds just over pursuit, and then he shoved out. This may not be a touchdown. Edmonds. And then Spillane, who knocked the pylon down with his leg. Is that across it?
That's a touchdown.
Appears to be right there.
100%.
Yep. That little reach out, I think, was enough to do it.
Touchdown.
That's got to hold up.
Oh, yeah.
Eight yards out.
Oh, we just saw, and Mahomes had like 14. He was 14 for like 16, 14 for 18. He had 7 different guys touch the ball. You see another angle right here of Hardman.
He's had 7 different receivers. Gene, they're taking an extra look at this one. What did it appear to you?
What they're looking for is because Hardman doesn't have any body part landing in the end zone, the football has to go over top of the pylon or inside. To me, it appears that part of that football goes over top of the pylon as he reaches, and that would be breaking the plane of the goal line.
Even if his left foot touches the pylon? Because his left foot touches the pylon.
Player's foot touching the pylon does not put him out of bounds.
No, but I'm saying it puts
and when
him...
that ball crosses...
Doesn't the
Go ahead, Tom.
Doesn't the foot, Gene, touching the pylon make him actually have the touchdown? You know what I mean? Like the ball's in front of it, but his foot touches it. It'd be the same as like towing into the end zone.
Well, yeah, but the ball at some point has to break that plane of either the goal line or the pylon, regardless of where that foot is. So you're right in both parts, Tony.
That's the main thing, and it did. And it was confirmed, and the extra point is not confirmed. But 4 drives, 4 scores for Kansas City. He's just taken the Arrowhead touchdown pass record alone, and it's 23-0. Hey. And there's Derek Gore. He just accounted for 66 of the 74 yards on that touchdown drive. And now he's playing special teams. Here's a kick by Fry, backpedaling, and not running it out is McLeod. Now, in the AFC, you ready for this? The NFC, there are 5 teams that have clinched a playoff berth as of this hour. Right now, not a single AFC playoff berth has been taken by anybody. But the Chiefs, with a win, would win the division of the AFC West once again by virtue of their victory and the Chargers' loss earlier today. That would be for 6 consecutive years taking the AFC West with a win. Steelers right now, after their early results, 7, the last wild card spot. But they're down big here in this one, 23-0, and they run it just outside the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and you feel like Kansas City looked like they weren't going to be the same dangerous team early in the year, Jim. Not anymore. They're actually the most dangerous team again.
This flag isn't.
BS is sponsored by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And by Verbo. Your together awaits.
Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wilson, and our crew back here in Kansas City. Although we are missing a valuable member of our crew, Robert Spike Lawton. His mother passed away this week, and Spike just wants you to know that you're in our thoughts and prayers, and we miss you. And we're so sorry for your loss. One of our great cameramen on all of our events. 2nd and 5. Look at that tackle by Neiman. Ben Neiman. Had Harris been able to get away from him, he might have had about a 15-yard pickup.
You see no huddle. Pittsburgh does this quite a bit, especially when they get behind, but obviously here, in 2 minutes, you're going to use it.
3rd and 4. Tries to thread it. McLeod. He is ridden down by Snead.
Well, if you're Kansas City, you should take a timeout right here. Andy Reid will do that, and then you're going to force Pittsburgh to punt, and you have a chance to go down and score.
I tell you, L'Jarius Snead has made some plays in this first half. He had missed time after the tragic passing of his brother earlier this month, who really was like a father to him. And L'Jarius is a big part of this defense and this secondary, and he's been playing quite a game here today.
Yeah, he did. Saw him get that bubble screen, comes up, makes a good tackle. Been all over these guys, tight contested, but the secondary's really come on in general.
What do you think of Pittsburgh going for it here, 4th and 1 at their own 34?
I like it. Coach Tomlin's not scared. He's like, what does he have to lose right now? Right? It's like, we don't give it back to Mahomes, but he's more than likely going to go get points. So even if he's going to take 3 or 4 plays, they got 2. They're just going to be right back in this position in about 30, 40 seconds anyway.
Down 23, nothing. 4th and 1. Toss. Harris. Look at all the Chiefs waiting for him. Look at all the Chiefs covered up that side of the field. And they take over on downs. Melvin Ingram was one of those in pursuit. Never a chance. Look at Ingram, 24.
It's really an unbelievable job. I mean, watch. He's right here. Most guys go into the line. He's going to work around. That is the knowledge of playing this game at a high level for a long time in Canada. He had things right. It just didn't account for a guy recognizing a play and going outside of his gap to another one.
He might have recognized it from when he was with the Steelers early in the season in camp, in practice.
He plays angry.
He does. First and 10. Mahomes complete. Demarcus Robinson had a first down, then he stepped back behind the line. He's a yard short. Hurry up mode here for Kansas City. Gain of 9.
Yeah, and so they're going to do like a slow version of no huddle. You're going to take your time. After this play, you'll probably use a timeout if you're in bounds, or you might get up and go quickly depending upon exactly where you are.
Edwards-Helaire. Edmonds has hold of, so does Hayward. But he fights through those two and picks up the first down. First down and a timeout. Back in 30 after this from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm. What's good?
Oh, Patrick?
No.
Timeout. And now, you set it down. It's 42 seconds.
Hill's right here. You're going to double team him with this guy and find someone else right next to him over there.
Mahomes has to just throw it away as Hayward and Watt were both chasing after and forcing him to back up and just take the incompletion.
Yeah, Tooney tries to set and he slips, and all of a sudden Hayward was coming straight at Mahomes. But really, this offensive line is actually one of the more underrated. Now, they spent and allocated a lot of resources this offseason, bringing in a bunch of guys, drafting, and it's now paying dividends because they're now more of a cohesive unit. Their communication's good.
And the trade they made, giving up a first rounder to Baltimore for Orlando Brown. Tooney by free agency.
Humphrey, second-round pick.
Yeah, Smith in the 6th round.
False start. Offense, number 13. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
First penalty on the Chiefs. Right tackle Lucas Niang is out with COVID protocols today. So Andrew Wiley, who was a starter good part of last season, stepping in. But you're right. It took a little time to gel, and they have. They needed it after what they saw in the postseason last year.
Yes.
Their old line.
And that was one of the biggest things, was allowing Mahomes to have time to utilize the skill set of the guys outside, and that's why they...
Mahomes is going for the control on this one, guys.
It just took a little bit, but it's impressive.
2nd and 15.
Quick pass.
Over to Edwards-Helaire.
Helaire will get about 4 yards.
And he's out of bounds near the 22. That was good for only 4.
Well, I think this is weird because no one used a timeout, and yet the clock is stopped.
They said he was out of bounds. So Edwards-Helaire.
So the problem is, Jim, like when you're over there, that's not out of bounds. I guess he worked forward, right? But if you're tackled out and you're kind of in bounds, you have to be moving forward. He was there, so that is
bold statement, Lamar.
3rd and 11.
Cowboys going down, huh?
Get just outside the 10 for the first. Pittsburgh rushing 3. Mahomes gets away from the
gonna run deep pass.
to the end zone and nearly caught.
Incomplete.
Reaching up for it was Josh Gordon Witherspoon celebrating the breakup.
So 4th and 11, and
they'll bring out Fry for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, watch. Mahomes is going to move around. He's about to throw it. No! Felt all the pressure, and then he sends it to the right side, and just really good. Now watch right here. He's about to throw. Pause it right there. Boom! He's about to throw this right there or right here, and then he feels TJ, and he does a great job. But what a play by 25, saving a touchdown. Witherspoon poised at the point.
Here is 39 yards out, fly left of the mark.
That's a missed field goal.
Tracy telling us there was not a whole lot of wind coming on that attempt. Remember, you said it was shoving things right. He may have been playing for that a little bit, and he missed it on that left side.
That was huge for the Steelers. I mean, 3 possessions, and it feels like it's 5. But this is kind of what happens, Jim. It's like they're like always so close to not being able to come back. And
I hear the hope in your voice. I do. Back in 30 after this from Progressive Insurance.
All right, guys, so we got 160 viewers, 37 likes. So let's try to get to 50. Just need 15 of you guys. I'll get 35 likes. We need 15 of you guys to go ahead and hit that like button to get us to 50. 50 likes, guys. That's our next goal here. So just need 15 of you to hit that like button to get us to our next goal of 50 likes. Of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll be updated with streams just like this. Mondays, Thursdays, and of course, Sunday's football day. 10 more likes, guys. 10 more likes gets us to that 50 goal of 50.
Games not allowed an opponent to score 10 points in any one of those games. Single-digit totals the last 4 at home, and now blanking Pittsburgh in the first half here.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, you want to talk about playing at the right time? You know, peaking, they're doing that.
Roethlisberger decides to go underneath with it. Harris breaking a tackle, trying to get to the sideline. They called a quick timeout. 9 seconds, they do. Tripped up by Mike Hughes. Ben Roethlisberger was very excited about the fact that his family was traveling to Kansas City. And, I mean, it was Ashley and his children, his in-laws, many friends. There is a look at the family, his wife and family.
Bailey, Benjamin, Bodie there.
He'll be turning 40 in a few months. Of course, there have been reports out there that this could be his last season, so.
Very reflective, right?
Yeah,
you can tell.
He just wants to talk about one. He is, but wants to just talk about 1 week at a time. Is again, they come into the week in playoff contention. Here he is throwing it complete to Gentry at the 44, and they'll stop it again with 4 seconds to go. Let's bring in Tracy for more on Ben and this approach this week.
Well, Jim, I asked Ben about having his whole family here, and for the first time, by the way, that they have come to a road game in his career. And I asked him, is it because of the holidays or that there may not be many more opportunities like this with all those reports swirling? And he admitted it is a little of both, partially Christmas, but also soaking up the time he has left. And you can definitely sense he's trying to savor every moment, Jim.
Well, right now, can they reach this? Is he downwind down there, Trace? Can he actually get, or do they have to use the lateral probably in this situation, Jim?
Got to get the time, though, so he just has to dump it off. Neiman will bring it down at the 50.
That's going to take us to halftime,
Kansas
guys.
City does not give up anything. No. I mean, outstanding for such a month now.
About 5 consecutive games without a touchdown in the first half. Hasn't happened in the Steelers organization since 1940. 23-0 Chiefs at halftime. Coming up after this first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
This holiday.
Wow. That's all I can say. 23-0 Kansas City. Michael Walgrave says, I've witnessed Big Ben holiday miracles before. You guys are going to need it, man. Steelers is definitely going to need a holiday miracle. This is looking bad. So we need 5 more likes, guys. 5 more likes gets us to that 50 mark. Just need 5 of you guys to go ahead and hit that like button. Push us over 50. Of course, if you're new here, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We stream Mondays, Thursdays, and of course, Sunday, Football Sunday. 186 votes, 75% Chiefs, 25% Steelers. So we definitely do have some believers out there, but it's not looking too good. How about those Bills today against those Patriots? Nice little 1-point spread, but they actually ended up winning by 11. Dallas and Washington up next. And we will be streaming that after this. Probably have an hour break. Have to run some errands and stuff, and then we'll get back to that game. I've got Dallas taking that, but you know how this thing goes. You know, the team that you know is going to win a game doesn't always win. I don't think anybody expected a 23-0 Kansas City Steelers game. I definitely predicted Kansas City by 7. But here we are. Suki, no problem. You know, thanks a lot for being here. Yeah, like I said, you know, make sure you subscribe, and you know, I do Monday night, Thursday night, and then of course Sunday. The first game I normally stream on Sundays is the Bills game, and then I do 3 follow-up games after that, so 4 o'clock, and then, you know, the late night 8 o'clock game. I also do some basketball, and we're gonna start doing college more so when it gets close to like the playoffs and championships and things like that. So yeah, definitely welcome to the channel, man. Zero chance the Steelers keep the Chiefs from scoring while making a ton of touchdown drives. 0. Now, I agree with that, man. There's no stopping the Chiefs right now. That's the way it's looking.
Halftime report.
Welcome back to our New York studio on the Verizon Halftime Report, the official 5G network of the NFL. This is 5G built right. Verizon. I'm Nate Burleson. I'm with the guys, Boomer, Coach, and Phil. Hey, Boomer, can you break down this playoff picture?
I'll try to do the best I can. If Kansas City wins, they're in. They'll win the AFC West and hold on to the #1 seed. You can see Buffalo now takes over the 4 seed because they beat New England, who falls to the 6 seed. Pittsburgh will fall out of the playoffs. Baltimore will take their spot if they lose. However, Baltimore could lose that spot if Miami wins in New Orleans on Monday night. Over in the NFC, 5 teams have clinched playoff berths. As you can see that Green Bay, the Rams, Tampa, Dallas, and Arizona. And if you win, you're in if you're San Francisco and Philadelphia. All right, how about Patrick Mahomes' first half, guys? 9 different receivers caught passes out of the 19 that were completed by the great Patrick Mahomes. 19 to 25, 5 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, you know, Travis Kelce's not in this game, guys. And he is just moving around. Look at this pass protection. Standing in there, standing in there, standing in there, firing Pingle in the back of the end zone. This is vintage Mahomes, and you can take a look at the QB comparison here. Not much happening for Ben Roethlisberger. A lot of completions, not a lot of yards, not a lot of big plays, the bad interception. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes now in the midst of a 7-game winning streak. Looks like he's moving on his way to 8 games.
Most complete team in the NFL, and that's his defense is also complementing that offense here. Frank Clark is going to get the sack. Then Charvarius Ward, watch this play on the flea flicker. He's going to balls in the air. He goes up and gets it, one hand, takes it down, and then Willie Gay, he didn't play last week. Again, they are suffocating the run. And for the Pittsburgh offense, it's been ineptitude, no points, rushing yards 29. They have not scored an offensive touchdown in the first half since week 11.
Kansas City defense continues to be probably the hottest unit in the NFL. And you look at the Kansas City offense, Patrick Mahomes at the end of the game against the Chargers kind of really got things going. And he's right away, we see him picking it up where he left off because he's really been good from the pocket where he's struggled a little bit this year.
No doubt. And boom, you touched on it, 10 different guys touching the ball. And that's without Travis Kelce. And this might be one of the most impressive performances from this Kansas City Chiefs offense. Why? Because last week, the Steelers forced 4 turnovers against the Titans. So they're coming in, feeling themselves. Now, I know TJ Watt is down. He's banged up with that rib. So Mahomes isn't feeling the same type of pressure. But for these guys to have this type of rhythm after coming in as hot as they were, this right here looks like a team that can't be beat.
You know, I'll say this. To me, it's the Pittsburgh offense. You know, they don't have the big play capability. It's just not there. And when they're playing against a good team, I think the young offensive line on that team is really what hurts Ben because he's an older quarterback. He doesn't move like he used to, and he needs more protection.
And it's unfortunate because he's under duress, and he's trying his best.
We talked about T.J. Ward in the pregame. They've been playing from behind this entire second half of the season, so they are defending the run and the pass. And right now, it's a trickle-down effect right now for this defense. They cannot keep up. They got to get some kind of help from the offense.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Hey, listen, if this is the last hit from 2021, I love you guys, all right?
Oh, man, all right.
My God, man. The halftime report continues after this.
CBS Sports presents the Verizon Halftime Report, the official 5G network of the NFL. This is 5G built right. Verizon.
Let's go, Buffalo!
And for those of you wondering, Kansas City gets the ball at the second half here. Michael Walgrave, happy holidays. No problem, man. I'm just glad I could be here for you guys and, experience the game and all that good stuff. Hope all of you guys had a good Christmas. Enjoy the time with your family. Got some good gifts, ate some good food. Of course, gearing up for this wonderful New Year's we have on Saturday. Got a nice little 3-week vacation coming up. I had a 4-week vacation this weekend. Next week's 3-day. So nice little time off back to back. Kind of dreading going back on Tuesday though. Should get that same schedule the kids get. A week and a half off. for my workers out there that's gotta put in for that PTO. So scores around the week, we got Chicago, Seattle. Chicago with 7, Seattle with 17. Of course, the current game we're on. Steelers 0, Kansas City Chiefs 23. We got the Broncos and Vegas. Broncos 13, Vegas 7. And then our final game of the night is going to be the Washington and Dallas. Which I've got Dallas for the win, but I just feel like it's going to be interesting. I really do. It almost never works out how you think it's going to. Almost.
Nothing, 17 first downs. And
mine usually has Cole in it. So
yeah, that's it.
Naughty or nice has not exactly always been friendly to me, but
have you been naughty?
This year's been fantastic. I almost got nice.
Good.
So close. Talked to Sandy the other day.
I think you're in good shape.
Close we came.
What about though the second half for the Steelers? This is now 3 consecutive road games. They've been down by at least 23 points.
Every time I think they're out of it, and I know I keep saying it in this first half, but they do come back. Today is such a tall order, though, because you're not playing Mahomes every week, right? And you're in Arrowhead, and everyone knows it's usually going to have to go through Arrowhead to get to the Super Bowl, and this is kind of one of those moments right here. They got to go through Arrowhead to possibly get to the playoffs, and this is right now.
Yeah, these last 3 road games, they trailed at Cincinnati 31-3, at Minnesota 23-0, and of course 23-0 it is here. And receiving the second half kickoff after deferring at the top. And right now, let's go back down to Tracy.
Well, Jim, for the 3rd time in 4 weeks, I've had to walk out of the locker room with Mike Tomlin and ask him how he gets back in the game. He said it all comes down to details and playmaking. I said, who needs to step up? He said, absolutely everyone. He said, we're not just going to anoint someone a leader here. He said, someone has got to step up and something's got to change, Jim.
Well, we'll see with this first possession of the second half for the Chiefs. Up 23, going for 22 straight wins in the months of November and December. And there's an 8-yard run. Good start for the Chiefs. Edwards-Helaire picking up that yardage. First half quarterback comparison. There you see the Mahomes numbers. First time this season, over 200 yards in the first half with no interceptions.
I mean, they were so efficient. The other thing, too, was it was like explosive, but it wasn't. It was just efficiently, you know, explosive going up and down the field, making the right decisions over and over again.
2nd and 3, Edwards-Helaire with a jump cut.
Helaire with a nice little run.
And his Loudermilk, the rookie out of Wisconsin. It'll be 3rd and 1 coming up. Mentioned that they've won 21 consecutive games, the Chiefs, in November or December. It goes back to a game in Tennessee, November the 10th of 2019. It's a Super Bowl winning season. The Titans beat them on a blocked field goal at the end. We were there for that one, so they haven't lost since in those 2 months. Amazing. 3rd and 1. Got the first down.
They got the first down, but there's going to be a flag.
Well, either Pittsburgh has hope
formation
or they don't.
Offense. The tackle was uncovered on the end of the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Looking at Edwards-Helaire's shoulder from 2 plays ago. Crunch.
You know what's interesting?
Putting all that weight on him. 3rd and 6.
At the last play, they had 10 guys on the field, Jim, so it's going to be hard to have the tackle covered up. You don't have a receiver right there.
Mahomes.
Deep throw.
Down the field. No flag.
Whoa, that was
complete.
so close.
Hardman thought he was bumped.
Well, he was definitely bumped. It was just, what kind of timing was it? Mahomes going for the strike to end this game right now, and really that should have been intercepted. Fitzpatrick, 39, comes flying in right there, and that means they're calling that incidental, like they're both going for the ball.
This is only the 15th 3-and-out of the season for Kansas City. Townsend, that's the fewest in the league. Johnny Townsend taking over for his brother, Tommy, who's on the COVID list.
Bring the ball down to the 29,
the Townsends have that position covered. For the Chiefs, the punt goes out of bounds at about the 30. 41-yard boot.
Ideas are nothing.
So quick commercial break. Thanks a lot, guys, for getting us to 50 likes. Of course, anything after that is a cherry on top. So make sure you guys are, of course, hitting that like button. Congrats on the win, Cincinnati Bengals over the Baltimore Ravens, 41-21. What a game that was. Burrow had a hell of a day, that's for sure. In a game where everybody had, you know, the Ravens, Bengals came on and showed out, that's for sure.
On New Year's Eve, CBS gets into the spirit of the bowl season. Bowl game with your name on it, Tony. Washington State and Miami, 2 schools 3,000 miles apart, will meet in El Paso. The old Sun Bowl, as always, on CBS. Friday at noon Eastern. Edwards-Helaire struggling to stand upright after taking that blow to the shoulder, landing on that shoulder. And the weight of Loudermilk falling on top of him. That starting point for a drive in this game so far for the Steelers. As Harris picks up 7. Harris now with 9 carries for 36 yards.
Yeah, everything's a struggle, but at least they got pushed right there, right? I mean, at this point, Kansas City's controlled the line of scrimmage up front. The front four has been handling this offensive line, but that needs a turnaround if you're a Steelers fan.
Quick throw and a fumble. Oh my goodness. Kansas City ball.
Slipped out of his hands.
What else could go wrong if you're a Steeler fan? What a huge play. Your team gets the ball. You got decent field position. You're only down 3 possessions. You might go down and score. Instead, you're just going to have poor fundamentals. You should be putting that ball away.
He's trying to carry it one-handed in his left hand. Watch, he'll switch it over here.
You went to one hand, you're right. And you know what, Jim? On stuff like that, it never hurts you as a one man, but it only catches up with you when it catches up with you. Write that down.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Worked on it all week.
Tyrann Mathieu, words to live by. Deep thoughts by Romo Stradamus. I like it.
I tell you, it actually is the stuff that just you look back as the coaching staff and the players. It's like, why? And Johnson's so good, right? You love him because he's such a good player. He's not appearing down. He doesn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, it's like fundamentals.
And now Williams. Edwards-Helaire out. Let's go down to Tracy.
You just mentioned Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of the game in the locker room. It is a collarbone injury, and he is questionable right now to return.
Okay. Collarbone, just got a shoulder. And you saw Deontay Johnson on the bench, battled the drops last year. Hasn't been the case this year at all, but he has fumbled a couple of key situations, including on the loose against Detroit. And this one today is Robinson.
Robinson gets a first down.
For a first down, we've got a tight one going on in Vegas. Nate, you have the update on the Broncos and Raiders.
That's right. It's a tight one. The Raiders start the second half by giving it to Peyton Barber. Yep, they call on Barber like they need a haircut. That's a 5-yard run. The Raiders take the lead. They are up 14-13. Back to Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
I like it. Thank you, Nate. Yeah, that one going on out there. Again, those two teams in the hunt. Look at all of these teams. They're still in the mix with 2 weeks to go in the regular season.
If you put them at 7-7, now there's like 5 or 6 teams who can get that last spot.
I'm trying to figure that one out. If the Steelers lose, Baltimore will go into the 7th spot.
If the Steelers lose, Baltimore goes into 7. I would agree with you. Okay. I'm going to allow it.
Yep. Because you see, you saw before, Baltimore's at 8-7 and the Chargers at 8-7, but Baltimore beat the Chargers earlier in the season. Beat them badly, by the way. So they have the head-to-head. They'll be slightly up on a whole brigade of other teams right behind them.
And all these teams play each other, right? In Pittsburgh's division, you got the next couple of games, you'll see a bunch of them.
Hartman able to slide through a tackle, just slip right through it.
And Hartman's so fast.
And the Chiefs are motoring again.
First and
you
10.
See the shorter passes work when teams are playing soft and deeper. And you just get it into your guys who are fast, and Hardman.
What's up, official?
You see a little bit of that run after catch that obviously Hill has made so famous, but Hardman has it as well. Good block there by Bell. Or actually, that was great.
So another first down. Stand on the ground.
Another big run.
Lowers the shoulder and picks up 8. He's now got 7 carries for 42 yards to go with 3 catches for 30.
And I think this is going to be really important that Williams continues to do this. Watch the push on the offensive line first, Jim. You see that? Those are huge holes in the National League. It's a good cut by Williams. But with Edwards-Helaire going
I hope you did as well, bro.
into that locker room, if that's a collarbone, if it is a collarbone and it's broke, you know what you see sometimes in people with that, he's out for the year. That means that Williams then is going to actually, I mean, for a collarbone, that's a huge thing. We're hoping that it's not something that's broke.
There's Williams picking up the first down. We keep talking about injuries that you can relate to. First, we're talking about the ribs. Now broken collarbones.
Not me. I mean, I didn't have many injuries in my career. I mean, I had one, I think that one time. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's another. Nope, no more injuries for me. Look at this cut. Watch him drop the hammer right here. Boom. Wow.
Yellow.
You got 48.
From the 16, first down.
Good throw. Oh, my goodness. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Touchdown. The Steelers are just sleepwalking through this one. They're getting beat on every single play.
Pringle.
Physically, emotionally, it's just not there.
Yes, mentally, and I tell you, that's A backbreaker right there. Pittsburgh, too many missed tackles. Pringle with an unbelievable, watch this strike. Excuse me, no. Goodbye.
3 defenders who just toasted.
That was Pringle there. I mean, that move was good, and then this one was good. And you see how many weapons they have. And these are short passing, and they're getting explosives.
Extra point is good to up the lead to 30. A third touchdown pass for Mahomes. Breaking tackles.
So the question is, like, what kind of, like, offense do you run at this point when you're down 30-0 and your team morale is, like, done and your defense just can't stop Kansas City? Like, what do you do? You know, this game is all but over. Go Chiefs, Ravens back. Playoffs with Browns, Chargers, and Steelers. Lose, I'm so happy. I hear you, man. What's funny is I should have did a parlay. If I did a parlay today, like, I was spot on. Like, I'd have, like, made, like, a ton of money. I should have did it. I was being lazy this morning, though, because of Christmas. Didn't feel like driving to the casino. Ravens aren't going to do anything third string. Oof. So who gave Kansas City 30 points against the Steelers? That's a good question.
Brown Center Plaza here in Kansas City. You see what the Chiefs have done in the red zone, 4 for 4, and Pringle has his first multi-touchdown game of his career. Another player who came to the Chiefs undrafted, found by their scouting department 4 years ago out of Kansas State, nearby product, and certainly having a big game of it.
All they can do now is
Tyreek hasn't caught a ball since 2 catches on the opening drive. They took him away, but left the likes of Pringle open.
Pretty much.
This kick. Oh, perfectly done. Just inside. And that'll be a touchback. Early headlines. Next week, the Chiefs will be at Cincinnati. We'll be there, too. Bengals rout the Ravens today. Now in first place in the division. Sweeping not only the Steelers, but the Ravens this year. And the Bills are in first in the AFC East, winning in Foxborough. The Bucs clinched the NFC South. And the Rams today, winners over Minnesota. We'll take a look at the playoff picture. Again, Kansas City sitting in the 1 spot. Tennessee with its win on the 23rd.
Look at Cleveland being in the hunt again.
Special occasion for him.
The Browns just can't get it together, man.
They're 10-5 on the season. Cincinnati the 3, Buffalo the 4 right now.
So who can catch Kansas City for the 1 seed? If Kansas City goes,
if they lose
1-4,
Tennessee beat them head-to-head. 27-3.
So this means Kansas City goes in. And Kansas City plays who the next 2 weeks?
They'll play Cincinnati. Yes. And then they'll have one more game on the road against Denver.
Yes.
Pick up a 6 right there.
That's never easy, too, you know, on the road. At Denver, going to be loud, especially if Denver has an outside chance.
Second and 4. Pressure. Roethlisberger to McLeod. And he's to the Kansas City 47. By the way, Joe Burrow in that game today against Baltimore, very rare territory. He threw for over 500 yards in the game. There have been fewer than 20 of those occasions in the history of the league. And I know you can relate to that.
Oh, yeah, I'm in that club, obviously. But I do think...
You know, there's only one player that's done it 3 times, though. Only one.
I can't remember if I hit that third one. No, it wasn't me. Who is it?
This guy just took the snap.
That's right. He's had quite a career. But he's going to need that kind of a half that he did in those guys. I mean, he's going to have to throw. He's got 107 yards. He's going to need to get over 300 yards today to have a chance at that. And
see if he gets back to Deontay Johnson, who's got Hughes on him at the bottom of the screen. Draw. Harris leaps and picks up the first down. Now that's an effort. He jumped over L'Jarius Sneed.
And the safeties are deep, and so they, you know, you want to hurry up and go, but they are making the right decision. Oh, as he gets way over, that was, and then the ability to finish, protect the football while you're doing this. Look at that. See how he locks that up? And that is an incredible jump. I haven't seen someone get that high, since I did against kids in basketball yesterday, but that was so, I mean, he has that rare ability, Jim, to literally jump, cut, catch, passes, run routes.
First and 10 throw, and Claypool comes back to get it.
He's going to have an unbelievable career, Harris. You have Claypool here, you have Johnson, and it's like, whoa. This is going to be something really special.
Yeah, they've got some skill players.
I mean, they're not taking a back seat to anybody. The offensive line has to improve. They're going to allocate resources in this offseason to that, I believe, and then figure out the whole Ben situation.
Here's a 2nd and 6. Benny Snell gets his first action, and he picks up the first down. Great piece of running by him, but there is a penalty marker. Jerome Boger and their crew didn't have the occasion to call too many in that first half.
Holding, offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Now getting back to Harris, he leads the league in touches, which is pretty impressive. Here's the hold right there on the rookie, Kendrick Green. But there aren't that many times you can say that a rookie's led the league in most touches from scrimmage. But Eric Dickerson did, Edgerrin James, LaDainian Tomlinson. Hall of Famers.
That shows you what kind of company he's in. And means you got to do a lot of good things, right? Because you got to be in a lot of different packages.
2nd and 15. Gets it again. This time he can't hurdle over Sneed. Sneed's got hold of him. Tracy, down to you.
Jim, Cam Hayward found out that Najee Harris was being a Grinch and didn't have anything set up for the holidays. So Hayward stepped in. He stopped by Harris's house with a Christmas tree. Harris, who is 2,500 miles from home, said no one in his life ever got him a tree. Mike Tomlin told us Cam has been taking on that mentorship role with Najee. He's also getting him into the holiday spirit, guys.
Good job. Good job, Cam. He's their Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. And you got to give him some bonus points for that move. That's impressive.
Cam's like a gentle giant who's not gentle on the football field.
11. That is dropped by Deontay Johnson.
Wow, that was a perfect throw by Ben. I think it's still going to be a penalty. The problem is it's probably
offside. Defense, number 95. Lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
That pass play would have gone had he caught it for about 20.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I think that would have been, I mean, it's a perfect throw, great, route. I mean, just the fundamental things. He was lined up, 95 offsides, up there at the top of your screen. Chris Jones, who's become a monster. They keep him at defensive tackle now. He's not moving out to the end. And Once they put their safeties back there, he's just wreaked havoc.
Still a third down. 3rd and 6. Completes it for the first down to McLeod. And McLeod, you pick up the first down, then you start talking, and you're going to be called for taunting.
Very undisciplined right now, right? I mean, that's rare. Mike Tomlin, he's not. Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the National Football League at getting his guys to do the right things, right? Be accountable.
No question.
Have a passion for the game. And right now they are, he's great at teaching fundamentals, make the game simple, but you can't.
This is something that the whole taunting issue, a lot of people have discussed. Is it over-monitored? And Tomlin was asked about it recently. He's a big advocate of this penalty. He believes taunting is not something that belongs in this game.
I agree.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's taunting.
Offense. Number 13. Taunting. The foul occurred after the first down was been made. Dead ball. So after the 15-yard penalty, it'll be 1st and 10.
Those eyes right there. Tomlin's. He's upset. He's going to have a talk with all these guys after this game this week.
Tyrann Mathieu shaking off that left knee, ding a little bit. So McLeod did pick up the first down. It was after the first down was picked up. It'll bring the football back to the 38.
Wow.
Daniel Sorensen onto the field now as Mathieu gets treated on the bench.
That's a huge thing right there. That's your strong safety, your slot corner, your linebacker, your guy who blitzes off the edge, who hides, roams the field, and he's moving. But you already got Edwards-Helaire. They don't need anything like that.
Tyrann standing on the sideline like he's ready to come back in. Here's a first down handoff. Harris and Chris Jones rides with him down to about the 32. Back to Tomlin, as Tyrann does in fact return. He talked to us yesterday about how they engineered victories. He always has an interesting way of phrasing things. The way they have figured out ways to win. They won last week with 168 yards of offense, engineering the victory. That's also another way, by the way. That's not what he's trying to say, but it's good coaching, getting the most out of your team.
Yeah,
Claypool
just outside the stretch. I mean, a lot of it is him actually. He's not saying, "Hey, it's great coaching." He's actually telling you, our team is built this way. This is our deficiencies. Here's our strengths. We're going to go ahead and try and allow our deficiencies not to beat us every week. So we're going to go ahead and take people who are not good at certain things. We're not going to put them in those environments. So we're going to cultivate an environment where they're doing more of the stuff they're decent at. Now, how do we hide it? All right. Well, that's how you evaluate it as coaches. And they do that. They know they can't just shut people down. They've lost a bunch of players in the run game and everything. So they might give up certain yards. But they're going to go ahead and stop you on 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 7.
Here's a 3rd and 4. And it goes through the hands of Harris. And Hitchens was ready to close in on him. Had he caught it, 4th and 4, and they'll go for it.
Yes, go for this one. But that's how you win games, right? It's like you got to make that play on special teams. You got to make that stop on 3rd down. You got to hold them to field goals. And that's where you start to practice. You're like, okay, we're not going to stop people from running the ball really great. We're going to try, but now we're going to practice more 3rd and 2 to 5 at practice instead of 3rd and 7 to 10. And all of a sudden your team gets really good in this little area, and that can get you off the field. And then you got to go practice a lot of 4th downs and 4. Otherwise, you're going to lose a game.
Here it is. Going for the deep ball. Flag is out. Claypool was the target.
Well, the funny thing is, this is what I wanted from the very beginning of the game. I think they may have got someone lining up offsides again, because that's usually what happens when you throw it that early.
I think you got 2 different flags. You got one down at the 11, one at the line of scrimmage.
There are 2 fouls on play, both by the defense. Offside, defense number 95 for lining up in the neutral zone. His penalty is declined. Pass interference, defense number 38. Spot on the foul, automatic, 1st down.
Press coverage. Claypool runs a go route. Remember the success they had on the one drive? Yeah, you can't grab him around the throat. That's going to get called. But this is what the Romo report early in the game, Jim. throw go routes. They play press coverage. That's how you're going to get these guys off you. And they finally just got back to it.
21-yard penalty gives them first down at the 11. Incomplete. He was trying to connect with Deontay Johnson. And that timing was off.
Well, I think the ball just, as Deontay breaks out of it.
Ben's telling him, I guess, what he expected that route to look like at the end.
Well, he makes a cut inside, and Ben wanted him just to go up and break out, but Deontay tries to give him space, and I thought he actually did. He just, you know, the wind is also a factor. So it's like if the ball comes off, it'll just tail, and it makes it look worse than it is.
Second down. Another incompletion going for McLeod.
I think Ben is just a touch early. See this right here? So he's throwing it, and if the ball's out and away, it'll be a catch. But he's throwing it so early that he just needs to see that little bump. It would have been an easier throw.
Again, both teams without their tight ends. Starting tight ends in this game. Kelsey out for Kansas City. Freiermuth, the rookie who's been one of Ben's favorites in this area near the end zone. Inactive after being concussed against Tennessee. Here's the 3rd and 10. And that was thrown in the area of Harris. No marker.
Pressure from 95. Jones going to split the double team. Ingram coming in right next to him. Watch down here. He's looking at this safety or this safety. Who comes down, throw to that side.
He got movement on the left side of the offensive line.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
The blue move, so now you got 4th and 15. They're going to bring out Boswell. Boswell, who had 1 attempt from 36 in the first half, miss, which is rare for him. Last 3 seasons, he's made 93%, second best to Justin Tucker. 28 of 32 on the year. This is from 34.
So the kick's going to be good. They avoid the shutout.
Featured 3 flags on each team.
So we got 3 to 30.
For 5 minutes, 15 plays.
As ridiculous as that sounds. So 3 Steelers, 30 Kansas City Chiefs. And we got 3 minutes and 34 seconds left in the 3rd quarter here. What's up, Michelle?
Well, getting ready to tee it up. As these two teams tangled in the divisional playoff game back in 2016. And Boswell accounted for all the Pittsburgh points, 18 points. 6 field goals and a Steeler victory here in the postseason. Here's the next gen stats powered by AWS.
Oh, Mahomes getting the ball out really quickly. He's actually really helping his team because he's getting it in their hands very fast and not waiting on all these big plays, which I think is the right way. Make teams have to get back up. Just check it down, throw it out quick, let these guys go do their plays under 2.5 seconds in each of those. 9 for 9. And I think that's how the big plays develop. You're not trying to look for them every time.
Here's Gore. As he had a nice ball game here today. Gore rips off a run of 11. Had that 50-yard catch in the second quarter. Look at this gap. Look at Orlando Brown, who was voted a Pro Bowl starter for the AFC.
He's played fantastic this year. Orlando Brown, one of the bigger human beings you will ever see.
Back to Gore. Got another 5, and they've got 94 yards on the ground. Steelers have been giving up an average of 144. Again, that's next to last in the league. But you've given up 236 in the air to Mahomes, 3 touchdown passes.
Keith Butler, they knew this was a tall task today. Kansas City's been playing good. They're in rhythm tonight. Your team's not stopping the run very well, and they've actually been committed to running the football.
Let's score again. And they get 5-6 every time they want it looks like, Tone.
100%. And it's like they're actually more physical at the point. They could run the ball before, but it was always feeling sideways, right? Now these are downhill power type moves. They'll run counters, like part of this was here, but a lot of these other runs are actually one cut, get downhill, and you need guys to have like a double team, right? Like the guys up front. 2 guys got to go push someone out of there, and now they got that size. I mean, they're big up there, and they're utilizing it.
Butler with T.J. Watt right over his shoulder. On the sideline, Gore, Hayward couldn't catch up to him. Gore's got another good gain on first down, another 7. And Tracy, what do you have?
Well, you guys are talking about the Chiefs running the football. It is not good news for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He is officially out now with that collarbone.
And Tony, you know the severity of an injury like that. We don't know yet exactly what it has to do, but
it's not normally. It's not normally good.
It's not normally.
It's a long injury. It takes a while to heal. It depends on what it is. I'm guessing, but it's just something that you don't want to see. But you're going to have Williams and Gore take a ton of these reps, and they might have to find somebody else for this playoff run.
There's Williams, going to be about a yard short.
I don't think with this loss.
But if you're an opponent and you're watching
they have a chance.
the tape of this Chiefs team,
you got to look at
we just ran what everyone else was doing early in the year. Teams, it took them, they just weren't able to like be as explosive. And now all of a sudden Andy Reid's adjusted, and all of a sudden it's like, no, we'll just pick you apart a different way, and he's committed to it. And he's always done that, right? It's just now they have the guys around to be able to be efficient by doing it.
3rd and a foot. And
it's going to be a first down for the Chiefs.
That'll run out the 3rd quarter.
It's going to be the end of the 3rd.
It just keeps getting bigger. That's that push, though, Jim. That's just hard to explain. It's going to be hard to beat Kansas City if they can run the ball downhill and Mahomes gets the ball out, because the big plays are waiting right around the corner. Kansas City back and top.
What makes for...
So, if they went out, let me see here. So the scenario one was if the Steelers win their last 3 games, then they win the AFC North, assuming the Bengals have 1 loss in their last 3 games. Which I don't see that happening. Scenario 2, with the win over the Chiefs, just scratch that out completely. And then scenario 3 was the Steelers have beaten the Chiefs. No. So, yeah, their chances of going to the playoffs is non-existent at this point.
Here's our second family wishing everybody happy holidays from the Lynn Dawson broadcast booth at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Lenny Dawson. This booth dedicated in honor of the great Chief in 2017, who was drafted into the league by Pittsburgh in 1957. Start the fourth quarter, hand off to Gore.
Gore's going to get about 4 yards.
One thing about, here's some history for you to tell you. Lynn Dawson, how great he was. But how about his draft class? Paul Hornung was 1. John Brody was picked 3rd. Lynn Dawson 5th. And Jim Brown was picked 6th. Pretty good draft.
Say that again. Go quick.
Paul Hornung.
Yes.
John Brody.
Yes.
Lynn Dawson 5th by Pittsburgh. Of course, becomes a Hall of Famer and Super Bowl winning quarterback here. And Jim Brown. Wow. How about those?
Yeah, that's going to live up to any other.
We love Lynn Dawson.
6 draft picks ever.
2nd and 6.
Deep pass and a catch.
Turnaround catch. What a game for Pringle, too. He's showing Patrick Mahomes that you can depend on me. He's got now 6 catches and a pair of touchdowns.
And this is why the big plays happen. Watch, it's just going to be a screen. And instead, they're going to pretend like they're blocking. Nope. So when I talk about the big plays are going to be really easy when you start doing the little stuff, Jim, normally teams would never even bite on that. Go ahead, go. We'll give you 4 or 5 yards. We're not giving up the big play. Now they got to go down there because you get the ball out of your hand and your team's playing efficiently. The big plays are going to be easier moving forward.
Here's Gore. He's been running like Frank Gore. What he's done in this game, running and catching. 8 attempts on the ground for 36 yards, 3 catches for 61. And again, depending on what the Edwards-Helaire news is in the next 24 hours. Remember, Edwards-Helaire got hurt in New Orleans in a December game last year. So
yes.
It's been guy right here you might have to depend on quite a bit coming up. Stacked up by Spillane. You might have looked at this, you know, if someone would have come to you and said, Kelce's not going to play. He's not going to be ready to come back through the protocols. And Tyreek Hill will have 2 catches for 19 yards. Hey, it might be a competitive ball game.
Yes, you would have thought that.
I would have thought that.
But you wouldn't expect, I mean, you're going to score 3 points. Even if the other team had a hard day, it's still 17-3 right now at worst normally.
Here's a 3rd and 9. Stepping up and in trouble, and he is sacked by Hayward.
Mahomes gets sacked. 4th down.
Cam gets the second Steelers sack of the game.
Cam Hayward having a fantastic season. They've asked a lot of him this year, too, without Tuitt and Alu there. He's come through, but they need a few more guys right now as their playoff hopes are on life support.
Here's Elliott Fry. He missed the PATs, 1 of 2 on field goals. Just filling in for one of the great kickers, Harrison Butker, who's on the COVID list. Like to see him walk away feeling good about his performance, given a rare chance.
That kick is good.
From 34.
So now 33, Kansas City.
Second field
3
goal of the
Steelers.
game delivered by Fry. 33-3.
The holidays are in full swing, and you can feel the magic in.
The Chiefs, what we've seen from the very start, just jumping out in front 14-0 after the first quarter, 23-0 at halftime. Pringle having a big day of it. Gore approaching 100 yards from scrimmage. And they're about to go to 11-4, but even more importantly, about to lock up. In 11 minutes and 57 seconds, they'll have the division for a 6th consecutive year, the AFC West, and remain in the 1 spot on the AFC playoff standings, as McLeod races out to about the 31.
Really? You're giving it to him, huh?
Yeah, no,
okay.
I'm going to take a risk here.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to
No, it's too late. The bus already left. By the way, New Year's Day, start 2022 with a little college hoops triple header at noon Eastern, Memphis and Wichita State, then Villanova and Seton Hall, San Diego State, and UNLV right here Saturday on CBS. Roethlisberger, 16 of 26, 119 yards. Oh, the ball comes out of his hands.
What?
Picked up all
Yo.
the way down to the 6-yard line. It is Jerry
Wow.
Reed.
So fumble looks like it was recovered by Kansas City.
For a Steeler fan, you got a screen, but it's a fake reverse. And Wharton's going to come in, number 98, and read
He's
it
got to call this
correctly,
for what it is.
and that's a fumble. And Reed recovers it.
I mean, it's forced, by Wharton.
Yep.
Treshawn Wharton And Green saves a touchdown return. 3 points, 3 giveaways.
Very dejected. Been a long day for coordinator Matt Canada and Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I mean, you can have all the
Amazing.
optimism you want. You know, your quarterback's got to make plays, and it's not happening. This game is over. Especially considering Kansas City's got the ball at the Pittsburgh 7 right now after that fumble. Steeler says, good night, Ben. Time to bench him weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, you know, he doesn't look like he's out there to win. And that's, you know, just me being honest, watching the game. He doesn't look like he's out there to win. And, you know, that's the reality behind it.
Sixth consecutive year.
And now to a more competitive game. The Raiders are up 17-13 with just over 2 minutes to go. We'll get you out to that game after the break.
Wow.
Advanced non-small.
Sounds like they don't even want to show this game anymore. They want to switch to a different game. Let's see what happens after the commercial break. It's 11:43 in the fourth, and the broadcasters are looking to change the game to a more competitive game, as they call it. Wow. But that's where we are. So we're going to see what's going on after this commercial break. And I guess basically call this one for what it is. This is a Chiefs victory. I called the Chiefs by 7, but they're well and above and beyond that. So looks like while we're on this commercial break, Kansas City has kicked another field goal, and now the score is 36-3. So they didn't turn that into a touchdown, but they did get more points out of that possession. No problem, Mike.
Two teams trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Raiders in control in this one, up 17-13 with 2 minutes to go. Let's join the crew. Greg Gumbel, Tiki Barber, and AJ
Thanks
Ross
a lot, Frank.
in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the channel, bro. Make sure you subscribe. And yeah, they switched us over to the Denver Las Vegas game because of
the Broncos cannot stop the clock. What a call by offensive coordinator Greg Olson.
Yeah,
because of what's going on in Kansas City.
The entirety of this game about how Derek Carr is looking to take a shot downfield. You get Hunter Renfrow in motion. You think you're going play side power. Instead, Foster Moreau sneaks behind the secondary. They were telling him for the last 3 or 4 drives, come down in the box, safety, get down in the box. They finally did, and when it mattered, Derek Carr, perfect throw. Foster Moreau catches it cleanly with his hands. Game over for the Raiders.
And you said they've been waiting to run that.
So now that the fact that the game is over here, do they switch back? Because this is obviously over. They're just going to run the clock out. So why would they even do this? Doesn't make sense.
Mistakes. You know, there was the sack fumble on Derek Carr. Limited the mistakes. Did just enough to eke out this win against the Denver Broncos. We always talk about those halftime adjustments, Greg, right? What's the team going to do? Get in the locker room, see what they're trying to do to you. They realize that we just need to get behind our old line and start running the football. And Josh Jacobs had a heck of a day. 129 yards, most of those coming in the second half.
8-7. That's the record for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Broncos fall to 7-8 in a hard-fought game here at Allegiant Stadium. Raiders overcame turnovers and made it a come-from-behind win. Vegas 17, Denver 13, and timeout. And we're coming back to Las Vegas to wrap things up on this day after Christmas in just a moment.
All right, so yeah, I don't get this. You know, they just basically switched to that game for nothing. But maybe they'll go back to this Kansas City game because there's 9 minutes left. Doesn't make sense of why they wouldn't show it. I'm assuming they wanted to try and preserve some ratings because I'm sure a lot of people aren't really watching at this point, even for those hoping for a comeback. So, of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We, of course, do this Mondays, Thursdays, and obviously Sundays. I stream 3 games on Sunday. Of course, Monday night football and then Thursday night football. I also do some basketball and then college, MLB. Try to mix it up a little bit. But definitely heavy on what's in season and college playoffs coming soon.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Visa, a network giving small businesses tools to grow. AWS. AWS is how the NFL can stat that. And by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com.
Welcome back, everyone. A quick look at the playoff picture will tell you that Las Vegas is in better shape than the Denver Broncos is. Neither of these teams eliminated, but things got a little bit worse for the Broncos today.
Yeah, they definitely did. They're not fully eliminated yet, thanks to Kansas City's win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they got a lot of work to do. The Raiders got to be feeling good about themselves, though.
Tiki, glad to have you with us today. Thank you. Our
Likewise.
final score, 17-13 Raiders over the Broncos. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 minutes, followed by an evening full of the equalizer. For Tiki, for AJ, for Gene Steratore, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Vegas. Let's send you back to New York and Nate Burleson.
Well done in Vegas. All right, let's send you out to Kansas City, where it's the Steelers against the Chiefs. Let's join Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
I mean, that's for Charles Barkley to decide. But I do know Patrick Mahomes does it the right way. He works hard. He loves the game. He's a great guy.
Okay, Roethlisberger's got another first down, just 7 minutes remaining. Johnson has had a tough time of it today. Hughes holds him to just a 3-yard gain. He had that fumble and a drop earlier. And 4 catches for 31 for Deontay. Long faces for the Steelers. They'll be back home for their next game, though. On Monday night, January 3rd against Cleveland, which will be huge for each side on that equation.
It's going to bring us
still very much
third
in it.
and
I was talking about the Broncos earlier. Even with their loss, they're not
6.
eliminated, but very long odds at 7-8. With the Raiders sweeping them on the season, going to 8-7.
I'm calling that eliminated.
3rd and 4.
I just think 8 losses is too many. This is why the Steelers have a chance at 9-7-1. If things fall their way.
Sounds like a playoff berth to me.
I think 9-7-1.
There's Johnson. He's got the first down.
Has a great chance to get it.
All right, Tracy, down to you.
Tyrann Mathieu out for the remainder of this game with a quad injury, but with several starters out right now, this game out of hand, you hope it is just a precautionary measure.
Thanks, Tracy. And I was talking about Cleveland a minute ago being the opponent for the Steelers next week. They're alive at 7-8. They still have a chance at the division. They need it today for Cincinnati to beat Baltimore and for Kansas City to beat Pittsburgh. Now they need some other help. They need Baltimore getting on the loss along the way. And they do play Baltimore on week 18 of the season. Claypool with the catch. So, and actually it's Pittsburgh plays Baltimore week 18,
10.
but Cleveland goes against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, 2 division foes. You know, we've been, it feels like following the AFC North all season long. And at the end, you got every team's like still in it. And it could be in the end, 9-8 might win the division.
Yes.
It could happen.
And yet, it's probably going to be 9-8 unless Pittsburgh goes 9-7-1. So Pittsburgh controls their own destiny, in my opinion, as it all plays out. Now, they don't, but they do.
That last pass to Claypool was actually incomplete. This time it's caught, and that is Cody White with the catch.
Just because I think a lot of these teams,
White gets about
these are a
6
lot of
yards
tough
in the
games.
catch.
It's like, who's going to go 2-0 to finish? Whoever goes 2-0 to finish,
That's it. That's what it's going to take.
And when you look at all the schedules and everything, Pittsburgh has an opportunity so do these other teams, but who's at home? Who's on the road? And when you think about it, Pittsburgh sneaks in as the 7th seed. You're playing Tennessee in that first round as of right now, the 2 seed. Well, you just played them last week at Tennessee, at Pittsburgh, and you just won.
Yep.
So you know you can beat them late in the year. You got to go in there and do it, though. A little tougher.
It's been tough on the road, but the Steelers, through all of this crazy season that's been a head-scratcher many times and gritty most of the way, they have been 5-0-1 in their last 6 home games. Harris. On the carry. In the AFC North, here's what you were talking about, Tony. Here's how you're going to try to settle. Pittsburgh, 2 division games. Baltimore has to play the Rams. Rams going to be an important game for them.
What's the records of everyone? So Pittsburgh, if they lose, they go to...
It'll be 7-7-1 at the end of today. 7-7-1.
7-7-1. Then Baltimore is 8-6 or 8-7.
Yeah, 8-7. Here's Harris. Nice run this time.
The hard run makes it to about the 20.
You got Cincinnati in a big one now, leading the division. We'll be hosting Kansas City next week, which will be our main game nationally next week. Talking about a huge matchup. Kansas City trying to stay on top in the AFC. Cincinnati trying to stay on top as a division.
7-8. You got, and the top one right now is 7-1, and now actually Cincinnati is 9-6. So they're in the driver's seat. They're going to win the division.
There's the pass to the end zone to Johnson.
And that's probably the team you'd be favored right now, wouldn't it?
Except they got to play Kansas City next week.
They're not the favorite anymore.
Okay,
I've now realized after a lot of thought process here. But that would put them at 9-7. And then Cincinnati in the last week.
Plays at Cleveland. We saw Cleveland beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati earlier this year. Second and 10. Gentry got out of bounds. I mentioned it, our main game. It's about 70% of the country, the Chiefs and the Bengals. 1 o'clock Eastern time. Some will get their action late. Everyone gets the NFL today, starting at noon Eastern. Week 17, the NFL on CBS. How about this? 4 consecutive home games, holding the opponent to single digits. We got the Steelers with 3 right now, facing 3rd and 7 at the 18.
Quick throw and a hard hit.
What a hit by O'Daniel. Holds him to 3, and now you got 4th down coming up. Wow. Yeah, shrug those shoulders. Yeah.
Fourth down. If you have any chance of winning this game,
right here,
you're going to have to do it here. But seriously, Pittsburgh wants to at least feel something decent coming out of this. You just don't want to have 3 points.
So Chicago up by 1 against Seattle, 25-24.
Johnson 101 at the bottom.
Well, he's going to throw it to him.
Baker on him. There it is. Johnson makes the cut and finds the end zone.
Johnson gets a touchdown.
You should have been telling Pittsburgh what to do on every play, Jim, because that was cakewalk. Johnson uncoverable.
See what you've taught
one-on-one, yes. And that was easy. But that's the kind of stuff right here that why you keep playing hard and everything. It's like you don't want to go away thinking you never did anything. I know it's pointless because it doesn't win, but watch this little vision right there. That's cool. Offense. And that's the thing. It's all-out pressure versus a veteran quarterback. Veteran quarterback usually wins.
Extra point Boswell is good, and somebody's reached 10 points against Kansas City at Arrowhead.
So Pittsburgh 10, Kansas City 36
quarter touchdown pass
with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
Non-small cell lung.
Obviously, you know, this game is over. Kansas City's just going to run the clock, and that'll be it. But that's where we are. Next game is going to be Washington against Dallas. And that'll be coming on at around 8:20. XT Media says Mahomes, not Jonathan Taylor, deserves the MVP. There's a lot that goes into that, bro.
Santa loves all the teams.
She looks like a Santa's little helper, doesn't she? Our kids love Christmas time. We had Elf on the Shelf this year. You know that?
What's that?
We had Elf on the Shelf.
So did we?
He's really good. He came every year. He came every night.
Hate to see him go.
Kept surprising us, but yeah, we'll see him next year. Goodbye, JB.
Yep. Was that your elf? Chance at a return by Hardman.
The elf looks like a chief. You know what I mean? They're always in the chief colors.
Harmon's going to bring it to about the 25.
And let's look at the Chiefs running game today, Jim.
Let's do it. Let's do it. That running game's accounted for 121 yards.
Yeah, I think the Elf on the Shelf could have ran behind this line because they were very productive. They moved the interior of the defensive line, and this is what's impressive. These downhill runs. This is different for Kansas City, and this is going to be a real problem on teams who are going to have to come into Kansas City and defend all this trickery, all this motion and movement. And then at the end of it, you got these big play guys. Kelsey will be back, and then all of a sudden they just run it straight at you, and it's like, wow, how do we stop this?
There's a handoff to Gore. He's
Good.
and I can tell you,
5-yard run.
Even Santa's little helpers would tell you that the Chiefs are 2.5 minutes away from being the first AFC team to officially qualify for the playoffs. So already 5 in on the NFC side, but this will be the first team to not only clinch a berth, but also clinch the division.
All right. After unpacking a lot, I'm going to let you say it. Here we go. For the division with the Steelers, what does Cincinnati have to do to win the division, Jim?
Now, by my math, I'm looking down at Ethan Cooperson. They would be just 1 win in the last 2 games from taking the division.
And they automatically are in, no matter what anyone else does.
But you got Kansas City next week coming to Cincinnati. And then, of course, Cincinnati plays at Cleveland the final week of the regular season. There's Pittsburgh back there at 7-7-1. And look at all the teams. Baltimore currently holds 7. But all those other teams that are still in the mix, it's going to be amazing to figure it out. I've never seen it so jam-packed as they're able to push back that carry. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. They called a timeout here. Timeout called by Pittsburgh. Wasn't expecting that.
That was different.
Did anybody expect Pittsburgh to call a timeout?
But again, they'll be home next week, where they haven't lost in their last 6 home games. A Monday night affair against Cleveland. Gore. One more timeout. This, with these timeouts, has a chance to break the record for the longest NFL game, which actually took place 50 years ago yesterday. This is the actual record, all kidding aside. 82 minutes and 40 seconds. It went to 2 overtimes. That Christmas Day classic, Kansas City and Miami AFC divisional round game. It was the longest game in NFL history. And Garo Yepremian won it from 37 yards out in the last game ever played at Kansas City's Municipal Stadium. Stram and his Chiefs heartbroken with that game, but they had so many great highs. And that was, again, the last game ever at Municipal Stadium here in KC. A couple of baseball legends ended their playing careers in that very building. Luke Eriks, last game in uniform, and Satchel Paige were in that same stadium where the NFL's longest game ever took place. Here's McLeod. He leads the league in return yardage this year. He's got more to add to it. He's tackled down by Darrell Williams, who's on special teams, who might be their starting running back for quite a while, depending on the Edwards-Helaire report.
Yes, that's going to be big news coming out tomorrow or the next day.
Mason Rudolph taking the field. Roethlisberger, he had his touchdown pass streak, Ben did last week, come to an end. He had thrown a touchdown in 27 consecutive games before he did not have one against the Titans, but he ran for his first touchdown A 1-yard push across the line. First rush touchdown in 3 years. The only game touchdown for the Steelers in their victory last week. But he gets another one here tonight in the fourth quarter. Rudolph in the pocket, able to connect with Rader. And he was tackled in bounds. It'll take us to the 2-minute warning. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning, and Tony's going to take us to break.
When I come back, I will tell you who will win in the playoffs next year.
All right, guys. So 2 minutes left. Steelers have the ball. Mason Rudolph is in. Ben Roethlisberger's on the bench right now. I feel like they're trying to get Mason's feet wet for next week, to be honest. That's how I see it. Dana, I am from good old Western New York, Buffalo, New York.
Bud Light Seltzer. If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. And by the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Manuel just subscribed. Thanks a lot, man. Welcome to the family.
Final 2 minutes in Kansas City, and the Chiefs about to win their 8th consecutive game. This was a team floundering at 3-4. Got manhandled at Tennessee, losing in Nashville 27-3. They haven't lost since. They've only gotten stronger every week. Here's Rudolph.
It's going to be a first down for the Steelers.
For a first down. Rudolph getting some reps in here. Here they come. Able to get the pass away in time, and it falls incomplete out of the hands of Rader.
Well, you never know how much longer, how many more games, Steeler fan, you're going to see Ben Roethlisberger over there. Regardless of what happens.
I think things are going to get different this year as far as how the playoffs go, bro.
You have yourself.
You know, I don't think Kansas City's making it to the Super Bowl. Mason makes it out of this hole. He's on the run.
Oh, they had him for a sack, and he was able to scramble out of it and pick up 18.
Wow, that was a great run. I mean, this is just too easy, right? I mean, Rudolph, it's Christmas. It's just...
Oh, I know.
This is a big moment, though, for a young player like you're always. And he's had times he's been up there, so if you want to show the coaching staff and the team, you can stand in
and pass. Coming back for it is James Washington. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a report on how climate change is affecting the wine industry in surprising ways. Then spend the evening catching up on The Equalizer. sack situations.
Here you go, Jim. Here's my guess. We watch 2nd and 10.
Here's Snell. Go out of bounds. Stop the clock at 53 seconds. You've got it. You promised it. Go ahead.
The Browns and the Bengals will be playing for the division title on Sunday in the last week of the year. And where's that game?
In Cleveland.
In Cleveland. And the Browns...
Come on, Romo Stradamus. I'm feeling it. You're ready to do it.
That game's for the division title, and the winner of that game will win the division, and nobody else will get in the playoffs from that division.
Oh, wow. Interesting take, Tony.
One last prediction of 2021, folks.
I was going to go with who's going to win, but I don't want to do it.
Hand it off to Snell, and there'll be time for one more play.
I think you know who I think it'll be, but we'll see. Well, this is a disappointing performance for Pittsburgh today. Kansas City showing you know, shouldn't there be a lull if you keep winning a whole bunch of games? Like you should take a week off. This defense is very impressive.
Last caught. That is Gentry.
I want to give two people, right?
Cleveland-Pittsburgh game, by the way, next week will be an elimination game.
Everything's an elimination, I feel like, from this point on now for these teams in this division.
10 seconds to go. And he's going to stop the clock.
Let's give Mike Tomlin credit first. Has he ever had a losing season? Andy Reid, I want to give credit for keeping a team who keeps going to the Super Bowl, AFC title games, to keep their hunger, their drive. 6 straight division titles.
Amazing.
I mean, that's unbelievable to get your guys to get back up and keep going and to lay your body on the line, right? Coach Spagnuolo, Andy Reid, to be able to have guys who are doing that and to keep going and have them be at this level this long, that's against human nature in a lot of ways. And for them to do it shows you their ability. And then Mike Tomlin, has he ever had a losing season as a head coach?
You're talking about Tomlin?
Yeah.
No, he's tied with Marty Schottenheimer for the most seasons without a losing season to begin a career of 14 in a row. Here is Rudolph completing it. Gentry. And that will end the game.
That's going to be it, guys.
And we have a divisional championship in Kansas City for the 6th consecutive year. The Chiefs take the West. Final score, Kansas City 36, Pittsburgh 10.
That's going to be it. Of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe. That way you'll be updated with streams just like this Monday, Thursday, and of course, Sunday. I stream 3 games on Sunday, starting with the Bills normally. Bills aren't playing, I just choose whatever games are available in my region at that time. Then, of course, 4 o'clock game, and then your late night Sunday. Monday Night Football, of course, whatever the teams are, and then Thursday night as well. I also stream NBA basketball, and I'm going to start doing some college closer to the championships and things like that. But yeah, so next up is going to be Washington and Dallas. I'm going to cut out of here. I got some stuff I got to take care of before that game starts, but I hope to see you guys in the next one. And if I don't, make sure you guys enjoy your weekend. Hope you had a great Christmas with your family. Happy holidays. And hope you have a good New Year as well. And see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.